Chat room. Hello? I think I'll have everything done, yeah? I think I'm good to go. Hi friends. I'm very, very excited. Lizzie, thank you for that follow. Also, Alexander, thank you. Maddie and Macy, thank you for the follows. And I saw also Little Brat, Zag, and Crows following earlier. Cryptic and Mickey as well. Hi friends. All right, hold on, we're gonna swap here. I'm like so nervous that my assets aren't gonna be correct. I don't know why, but I'm so scared. Human and also Katie, thank you for the follows as well. On raid, it's honestly, Twitch has been having a lot of issues with raids recently, and it's really frustrating. It's really, really frustrating. I simply wish that it would be fine and that it would work and it would be normal. But alas, it is not. It is not. I'm also gonna make my captions a little bit larger because I feel like they're really tiny. So for today, I have captions for myself. I unfortunately don't have them for my friends. Not able to like set those up or like there's like not a space for me to put them. The raid worked for you in a while. Honestly, yeah. It's so weird how they like figure it out. I don't really understand. How do you manage to range yourself? Hey, look, I'm here again. Look at me on this channel. It's always, every time I do this swap over, I get so stressed that something's gonna go wrong. I'm always so scared. But yeah, welcome in. So for those that maybe were not aware or not sure what's going on today, I'm gonna be chatting for about 15 or so minutes. Giving us a little bit of time to settle in and vibe, and then we're going to be hopping in to a little bit of like a panel, a little chat, a little conversation with our friends Momo and Vine. I was like, sometimes I'm like in a full name Vine because Vine has a new branded to a new username, and I'm just like, I can just call them Vine. It's fine. As usual, we roll with it. You know how it is. You know how it is. It's always like so nerve-wracking. I just think it's gonna be wrong. I feel like my camera's always also different too, and so I'm like, do I look okay? Is this good? But today we're gonna be talking about representation in LGBTQIA plus media, which I think is gonna be really fun and exciting. Oh, hold on. My thing is on a very trans gay. Wait, Lars. I don't know if you said that. Oh, my chat filters are on for some reason in this. There we go. That should hopefully be better. I don't know if you told me that, but I love that. It is also a Gender Pride Day, so everyone has to wish Momo an extra. You have to tell Momo you're proud of them today. At least once. At least once. Momo, our resident agender, friend, pal. Text you about it. Oh my god, please do. There you are. There's the Momo. Our resident. I'm proud of you, Momo. Hey, do you know that I'm proud of you? Especially today. Like, I'm proud of you all the time, but today specifically, like, extra proud, you know? Extra proud of you. Oh my gosh, so proud of you, Momo. I'm so proud. Also, chat, can you hear the music? I just have some lo-fi playing, but I never know how to make it. I'll do that. So proud, Momo. So proud. There's the Momo we're proud of. A little proud. I'm a proud pop, but what can I say? Actually, I'm married to Momo. I'm no longer, I can't be a proud papa. I'm a proud husband. Not really, cannot hear it. Okay, hold on. Music is low for you? Okay. As long as it's not like overwhelming. We're married, it's true. Married to Momo Misfortune and married to Emrys K Tags, respectively. This is a weird family tree. It is a little weird, I would say. Vine, how are you? I hope you're doing well. In this house, we are proud of Momo. We are. We are very proud of Momo. Can hear it better now? Okay, I was like, I don't want it too overwhelming, especially when there's gonna be 3 of us like talking and chatting. But fine, I hope you're having a lovely day. I keep saying it's morning. It's literally 3 p.m. for me. It's not morning. Why am I like this? Dutch Bros pranked their new girl and made me forget my drink order. I have anxiety. Okay. So fair. So fair. I'll come bring you a little drink. I'll come bring you a little drink. Don't you worry. You get a little treat. A little tiny treat from me. But yeah, we're just gonna be talking for like about 5 or 10 more minutes. What were we talking about? What did we end my stream on. Oh, we were talking about the pandemic and me coming out right before COVID. Really great for me. It was really lovely because you know what it did is I ended up being able to find a gender therapist very early on, and that's that's what everyone else was like getting into bread making and like their other COVID skills. You know what I did? I figured out my gender identity, but like not really, like enough that I wasn't having a crisis anymore. But then nothing beyond that. Oh my gosh. Like immediately, I bought a ukulele and never learned how to play it. Yeah. What did I do? I painted my bathroom. No, I painted my bathroom not even during COVID. I painted like a really dark green. But I like found, also, hi, hello, how are you? And it gets better. Hello. I hope that you're doing well. They baked bread. I baked the gender. Yeah, I was just like, I found, a sliding scale therapist, and most of my stimulus checks went both to getting a new computer and my therapist. That was it. Also, hello, thank you for that follow. Welcome in. Also busy figuring out my identity. I had no time for making sourdough. I didn't get to learn how to make sourdough. I got into gaming as well. I really got back into my gaming era, but I was like, I have to go to a therapist because if, we're done with this pandemic and I'm still working in film, I've got to have things figured out. Made sourdough? Momo, I wish I was you. I wanted to make sourdough. Pay a lot of Animal... We cannot talk about how many hours I have in Animal Crossing and how many of them went in the first year. Making cookies. I love that, though. I love that. I got really back into gaming. I mean, I bought my whole PC during the pandemic, and we were super lucky and very, very fortunate where I wasn't working personally, but Daniel still had his job, and so we were like, fine. I mean, we were like, it was rough because living in LA on one paycheck, it's real rough. But I got to meet so many friends. I met you, Nikki. Exactly. That was the best part. Honestly, with my COVID money, learned how to make whipped coffee. What's whipped coffee? Wait. Tragedy my island starting over, but I need someone to hold on my stuff that I want to keep. I'll do it literally anytime. Anytime. Sourdough pancakes I ate because I could not actually make sourdough bread to save my life. It turned out too dense. Please. Hi, Meg. How are you? What's whipped coffee? I don't know if I've ever heard about this. Kicked up like my school shut down during my last years. Oh my gosh. Is that stuff with instant coffee? What? Tried to make focaccia bread, but I made the water too hot. The poor yeast. Oh no. I think I had bought yeast. Like we had yeast packets in our cabinet for literally so long because I was certain that we were gonna make bread, and then I didn't make bread. You basically froth instant coffee with milk and sugar. Oh, maybe milk or something. I forgot. How did I miss this trend? How did I miss this whole thing? 2020. Maybe I wasn't. You know what? I might not have been. Was I not? I don't know, because TikTok is part of the reason why I ended up being like much more okay with, like, it helped me come to terms with being trans. So I was on TikTok at least around 2019. So maybe I blocked that part out of my memory. I don't know. Honestly, it's pretty good. Oh, you take water, sugar, and instant coffee and whip it. And you put it on top of milk and boom, coffee. Interesting. 2020, totally forgot that I'm so fascinated. Was done with school. Yeah, I also was done. I had already been working in like film, I think at that point for like 2-3 years, 2.5 years maybe. Was struggling before that point, honestly. Was the start of COVID trend? Why do I not remember this? I'm like so baffled that this is like not in my memory at all. I'm genuinely so baffled. I love coffee, so I'll try any kind. Yeah, I'm the same way. I remember like really early pandemic when I was like when we were allowed to have, I guess it would be like more mid-ish because we were allowed to have our bubble or whatever. And I would just go over to my friend's house and we watched like, oh my gosh. I haven't like thought about early pandemic in like a while. in like a while. It was for real March TikTok. I'm like baffled. What was I doing in March? I probably was like still trying to figure out whether or not people were filming or not. Because I had one of my last projects that I was on was supposed to still film the week that LA got shut down. And then I was like, I was feeling sick and I was like, well, I'm not going to go to set because I'm really sick. I don't want like I don't want to like deal with this. I don't know what I had, but I was sick and I was like, I'm not going to set because I'm super sick. And then it was like literally the weekend, everyone shut down entirely. It was like, and it was so wild. I moved back in August, I think. The emails of shoots canceling, yeah, because I was a producer on one, and I was trying to push for the shoot to be canceled, and so was my other producer. Like, the two of us were like, we should cancel the shoot. Things are really uncertain right now. And the directors were like, typical film bros, but I was like, it's a paying job, and I will do what I can. And it was like, they were so adamant. They're like, oh, it's just like the flu. It's fine. It's fine. I miss a vacuum soda. You should not be just. I don't work in film anymore. I could not do it. I couldn't make it. Film sucks mostly, but the people are cool. Yeah, you meet a lot of really cool people, and I feel like if you have the passion for it, you can make it. But I don't think I had that passion, you know? I started playing Sims again and started watching Sims YouTube. And then the musician Tessa Violet had Twitch live streams. And well, here we are. Oh my gosh, look at you. And now look, narrator. It was not fun. Yeah, everyone, like all the directors were like, oh my God, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. And me and the other producer, because the other producer was immunocompromised. And I was sick. And I was like, well, I'm not comfortable going to set sick. And what are you going to do? Not have a producer on set? Nice try. But they were like so adamant about trying to have it shoot. And I was like, no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. They're like, it's just a flu. Be quiet. Silence, film bro, you know? While I very, very much value my time working in film, I'm very happy to not have that as my career path anymore. Hi, Blueberry Bean, how are you? Welcome in. Carol, even during the early days? Well, yeah, I was just like, because from what I had seen, it was like, people kind of were like, that was like when people weren't entirely sure what was going on. People didn't really know. Vince, thank you so much for that follow as well. Silence, film bro. Yeah. Dead right now with strikes happening, which yay pro union, but also bad because like, how do you work? Yeah, genuinely. Since we're at the end of 2019, then found Kayla on YouTube and was like, what the heck is Twitch? And I've never been here ever since. I love that. It's really interesting to think about because also early pandemic is when I'd watched Kayla like a lot whenever I'd first moved to LA, when I was like not working as like frequently. And then I kind of like, you know, started working, did not have time to do literally anything other than breathe. And then it was like, I remember during the pandemic, I started like getting back into YouTube again. I was like, wow. Their season so I could work with them again. Honestly, that's so sick that you're on that. I love it. Hopefully it was good. Hopefully it was like a good set experience. Experience with the behind the scenes stuff. It's definitely like it's very cool and very fun. For like a month. If that. It's cool for a day, and then you're on set for like you're working literally like 90 hours a week. And you're like, oh, I'm getting literally like bread and a penny for this work that I'm doing. So no complaints. Honestly, that's so good. I'm glad, because I know sometimes I feel like longer like syndicated shows like that, I don't know if it's syndicated, I guess, but longer shows sometimes can be a little rough. Such a huge Sims community. Honestly, it's really interesting to me because I remember that I like used to watch Kayla, I think when she was in high school making content. I used to watch her Sims videos, and then now I'm like, hello? Isn't sustainable for health and safety? It really was not, because like the thing is like you would work 90-hour weeks for like a few weeks, and then you would have like a month off, if that, or not, because most of the time people are like, anyway. We'll have to talk about that one later. I'm like, oh, I'm interested. I want the that's definitely the part of the reason why I haven't gone back, because I just A few of like my last productions were really bad. Not bad. I had one that was like a shoot from just out of a nightmare, and I simply I was like, I can't do this again. I can't do this again. Especially since I was not an artist, so it was whatever the artist wanted to pay me, basically. Oh my gosh. Oh, Meg, that's definitely rough, yeah. Douglasy led to Simsy in that way. Because she recommended me. Oh my god, yeah, that makes sense, yeah. Tech team, and we had all the seniors, and I was the only one without senior artists. Getting them to finish things was like pulling teeth, yeah. There is like one very particular set that I'll have to tell y'all a story about this someday on stream. Somebody remind me. This set was one of the worst experiences of my life. We had, the director was just someone who definitely had too much money, had a lot of generational wealth, and didn't understand the meaning of money and keeping things in a budget, and did not respect safety in any way, shape, or form. That was another huge thing. And also the story itself made no sense. The film did not get good reviews, and I felt very vindicated after that. It was really good. A fun romp in and of itself. Yeah, AD stuff. I feel like AD and like coordinating and producing are very much two sides of the same coin, where I'm sure you'll have yours. I feel like the ADs sometimes get to take to themselves, though. They don't have to have their you have their fingers in all the pots, but like I feel like sometimes you do get a little bit of respite. Whereas producing, it's like I have to go yell at the genie people to give me their paperwork, or they're not getting paid, and then they get upset when they don't get paid, and I'm like, well, you have to fill out your paper, you know? It's rough. A story like that too. Oh my god, we should swap stories, Lars. We should swap stories. I don't think we'll ever see the light of day. Oh my god. Growing up, I was so comfy when I then moved out before the end of high school and ended up living in my car. It was, yeah, rough. And literally just like not ever making enough money to deal with what I was, you know, doing. It's just rough. It was rough. It was rough. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna let them, tell them to let me know when they're ready. When you're ready. I was so like, oh my god, we need to have a little chat. We need to have a little chat, you know? It was definitely just like very, it was very rough. That one. But then I also had some very lovely, even like, here's the thing though, is like, even the best shoots I was on were still like so grueling and just like intensive. It was still like, you know, I'm working like a 16-hour day in the office before set, 12 hours on set, 2 hours after set. It was like, there was never, and then, you know, I'm getting paid like less than minimum wage. People working in film, we really have, I have the media hot takes. I truly do. That's why I'm excited to really talk about this. I originally was thinking about keeping this stream, which I guess this is a good segue while we're waiting. I think Vine is almost ready. 2 days ago, my body's still recovering. Literally, I would like spend my weekends where like I was just in bed. I was just like, I'd sleep. I would sleep. Don't even get me started if you're doing like actual overnights or like wild schedules. Absolutely wild. Okay, yeah, both of our friends are having a bathroom break, and then we'll jump in. I always tell her that like when she makes it, let me know if she needs writing help, since we're both creative writers. Yeah, honestly, I wish her all the best. And I always feel bad when I talk about film because I feel like I sound very cynical, and I know that when I was in film school, I feel like everyone sounded so cynical about it, and I was like I was prepared for what was gonna happen, but like I don't know, it still like didn't get me like fully prepared. I don't know. I always feel bad. I'm like, if you have a passion for it, like go into it, do it, live your life. Like it's great. When film in the desert doing overnight, literally no. No, that was similar to like a group of or thing of overnights I did for a web series, which was a whole thing in of itself because we were filming with like, it was like we had a lot of like minors on set, and that is like its own thing to even just like think about. Oh my god, the logistics. But we did overnights in the desert on like a ranch, but it was like a Disney ranch, and so which is basically a fake neighborhood they build in the middle of a desert. It's like a fake neighborhood, like a cul-de-sac, and all of the houses are shells, and you fill out the shells with what you want if you're gonna film in that house, and then the rest of them stay these empty. It's a really weird experience. But I had a thing of overnights there, and that was one of the worst. The Disney Ranch, baby, was one of the worst nightmares of that place, honestly. Honestly. That one's rough too. If you hate spiders and snakes, that's not the place for you, because they are everywhere. And the fire ants. We had bad ant problems with that one. Are in the industry, and they're so strong. I have a lot of friends in TV news too, and like, yeah, TV news is a whole other thing too. I cannot imagine being in news. I originally was like, my transition of like studies was I was like PR, and then I went to like media production, which would have been like news stuff and more like I guess nonfiction sort of things, and then I went to film. That was really something. See them there. They had wasp. Yeah, we had a lot of wasp issues. We had the ant. I don't want to think about the ants. I don't want to think about them. I genuinely still sometimes have nightmares about those ants. Like, they're horrendous. Okay. I think our friends are both ready. Nobody. I'm like, I can't think about it. So for today, gamers, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be joined by my friends Momo Misfortune and Vine Hellebore. And we are going to be talking about just LGBT representation in like media and in, just I guess like all types of media in general. I think a lot of us were probably going to focus on like graphic novels, manga as well, because that's what I've been reading the most recently. I haven't seen a lot of I haven't watched a lot of media more in like the more recent times, but I'm gonna be sorry, I'm just messaging again. Okay, sick. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump in the call. There we go. I'm gonna be deafened and muted in here. And I just need to double check our scenes and stuff like that to make sure things are okay on my end. But yeah, so we'll be chatting. Momo uses they them pronouns, so does Vine. I myself use they he pronouns. All of our pronouns will be down at the bottom of the screen, like below our cameras. So that'll be great, and hopefully should all be good. Okay, let me do this. And here we go. Studio mode. Wait, why is that? Oh, I did it wrong. Okay, chat room. I do have to do a little bit. I have to do a little I grabbed the wrong video for Momo. It's my face instead of Momo's face. Could you imagine? I knew I was gonna have this problem. I tried doing this like before stream, but Discord just really does not. There we go. Oh god, hold on. Ready to write down. I'm literally so excited. I'm so excited. Full preview. Okay. Oh, this is perfect. Now I can properly see their little faces. Very good. Oh, and they're backwards too. How did I manage to mess this up is my question. That's so funny to me. I like we practice this with I guess only 2 of us at a time. But oh, and that's I'm just gonna do this. That's gonna be easier. No bugs. Yeah, I don't want to like genuinely the amount of like bug spray and like ant repellent I bought on that shoot. Like the line item and the budget line item for that was probably more than production ever wanted to see. That was a rough one. Hold on, I'm just adjusting a few more things and then I'm gonna unmute them. And we're gonna get into it. It's gonna be great. Okay. I'm gonna unmute first, and then let me make sure. That looks great. That looks good. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna unmute really quick, Charum, and then we'll swap in properly. Okay. Let me.
Yeah.
Hello. If you could believe it, they were in the wrong spot. I captured my face instead of Momo's for Momo's spot.
How dare you? On a gender pride. Or what day?
It's
Gender day.
It's the a gender.
My day.
Which agender? Which one?
Agender, you know. just one of them.
Agender.
I mean, actually, none of them.
I hardly know her.
I hardly know her.
Charum, how do they sound? Are they? All right, hold on. I'm gonna let you look at them. There we go. Oh, that's don't look. Ollie Cat Games.
Hi.
I know. I can't believe I would treat them like this on their day of all days.
On my day.
On their day. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But chat, let me know how they sound in terms of volume. I think it should be fine. Let me do. I'm gonna just turn our music down just a little bit more for me, at least.
Oh, I should play myself music.
I don't know if anybody else is like this. I genuinely can't sit in silence. If I don't have like, they're a little quieter than you, but not that much. Okay, well, we'll do a little, boop. We'll do a little boosty boost.
Turn me up.
And a little boosty boost. I'm gonna go. All right, I think that should be good. Let me know if they're too loud or anything like that, but I think we should be good. That was really loud. Have you ever thought about going into music, actually? Have you ever thought?
I have, yeah.
Have you?
Have to be the lead singer, though.
Oh.
I'll play guitar.
There we go. There we go.
Perfect.
Look at that. Incredible. Well, first of all,
my melodica. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, you should. Oh, get your little that little thing that you have that you play for people's birthdays.
Ocarina.
Yeah. I forgot what it was called. I was like, it's shaped like this.
Thing you have.
It's like this.
Listen, you know the thing.
Listen, Momo, my birthday is 2 days after yours, so like.
Wait, are you both Geminis?
Of course we are.
Look, Geminis are everything. Look at this.
Wow, I love this for you. I'm a little left out, but that's fine. It's okay.
Okay,
have you tried being born on a different day?
You know, I haven't.
Aquarius.
I haven't looked into it. Aquarius is in, I think, 6 of my sign placements or whatever.
I have a question.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, hold on. Hold on.
Yeah.
Are you okay? Are you doing okay? I just want to know.
I think that I'm fine. I think that I could. I think
you are.
I think I'm fine. Also, Vine, everyone loves your little VTuber model.
Thank you.
It's so good. Oh.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, you can't put the hair up. I'll cry. It's just, I love it.
Oh my god.
I can't. Aquarius is why we're besties. Yeah, honestly, it's true. I am friends with a lot of Leos. And now I guess Gemini is the only Gemini I feel like I met before Momo that I like knew was a Gemini. I was not friends with. We were enemies. He became my enemy. Yeah, now look at this. It's fine.
We are actually we're frenemies.
Yeah, we're married.
Momo, yeah. what is your big three?
Gemini, Sun, Virgo, Rising, Sagittarius, Moon.
Not bad.
Okay.
Not bad. I don't know what any of it means. I'll be honest. I just know what people's signs are, and then I know what my friend's sign. I don't know a lot of the deeper things from it.
Today we're just gonna talk about astrology instead of
actually I'm sorry.
Actually,
LGBTQIA plus.
We're just gonna teach Emerson about astrology.
Honestly, I would love that. Would you actually teach me about astrology? I'd find it so fascinating.
I'm not.
I don't know a lot about it, but there was one stream that I spent like reading a book about like relationships between signs and different things about signs. So I could read you a book. I wouldn't really be able to explain it, but
I mean, I would listen to you read me a book. I'd do it.
I would read you so many books.
See, like, everyone is saying these things that I'm like, I don't know what they mean. I don't even know what being an Aquarius means, and I have a lot of them. Also,
Well,
I think I have my birth chart, and I know a bunch of my houses are also in the 12th house. It's like, my birth chart is a little scary to look at sometimes. I don't know what it means, but I'm like, everything is like, everything is in like the same stuff, and I feel like that's not good.
Because like, depending on house, you can kind of like predict your trajectory in life, like what's gonna happen at like certain points in your life, and like all this stuff, and like how, yeah. It's fascinating.
I knew that my life was destined for tragedy when I was born with it, and Gemini, Scorpio, Pisces as my big.
Oh my god.
Scorpio.
I'm so emotional.
It's fun.
I just find it fascinating because I'm like, I'm just an Aquarius, and people are like, no, what's the rest? And I'm like, I'm just an Aquarius. That's all I am.
That's it.
That's literally it.
Just make it your whole personality.
Yeah, you know what? It kind of is. What can I say? I think I'm special because I'm a triple Aquarius.
Yeah,
what can I say?
Special.
Aquarius.
Thank you. I'm just a special little guy, okay? I love it. I feel like to start, we should introduce yourselves and where we can find you on Twitch and all of that good stuff. And your pronouns. I put your pronouns. I think I got Vine. You're even with your VTuber, you're still using they them pronouns, correct?
Correct.
Cool. But yeah, if you want to give a little intro, we can go with Momo since Momo is right there.
Right
Momo's
here.
technically at the top.
I'm at the top.
Congrats!
Hi, I'm Momo. My pronouns are they, them. You could find me everywhere at Momo Misfortune. I'm very easy to find on the internet. I'm just a little guy.
Yeah.
The end.
The end. Also, thank you for that follow, Shay. I appreciate it.
I used to be a former It Gets Better ambassador, so maybe I'll see me here.
True.
I've been around.
That was the first time I was with It Gets Better. It was our stream that we did.
Yeah,
that was like
were,
this.
That was like my very first.
Was
that
it
my very first stream on here, or was it my second
I think it was like in the middle.
Maybe it was in the middle.
Because I feel like it wasn't.
I, was first.
I don't remember. I don't have a memory. Okay, I don't remember anything.
Neither do I. Anyway.
That's the posture check and hydration reminder I needed. You're so correct on that.
Maybe I should drink water.
Yeah. Oh, Zach is saying it's your first
stream. If nobody has me, Zag has me.
Sorry, true.
Yeah! We love Zag. Yeah!
Yeah! Vine, who are you and where can we find you?
Hi, I am Vine Hellebore, and you can find me everywhere as Vine Hellebore because nobody else has that name but me.
Let's go!
And my pronouns are they, them. And yeah, I am one of 3 little guys that are here in front of you today.
The littlest of guys. The little guy council has gathered you here together.
I am literally a little guy.
The tiniest of guys! Wait.
No, come back!
What if I grabby hands like...
We have the little guy council's gathered you here today to discuss...
Queer media.
Media. Of the queer variety.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Genuinely. I feel like...
Can't wait to info dump everything.
I literally cannot wait. And people have reminded me of things that I wanted to talk about too, because it was great. We were talking on my stream before this about just like general media, and somebody mentioned scam to me, and I was like, oh my god,
Someone scammed you?
No, I did not get scammed.
Oh.
It's SKAM. And I feel like, I don't know, I mean, okay, listen, I didn't do a lot of prep of like questions and stuff, so we're just gonna jump into it. Okay. And we're just gonna go for it. I feel like I have to wait to get to scam, because I could talk about scam for like 3 hours.
We're just gonna take up the entire time.
Yeah, I'm like, alright, so let me explain to you this Norwegian show. No, I'm kidding, like... but I feel like something that we were talking about and like touching on before I rated over here was like shows that made me realize I was trans, both early on in my life and like later on. And we were discussing this because I came out, or I guess I knew I was like not cis. I didn't know what was going on, to be honest. But I knew I was not cis in like 2019 or whatever, early 2019. And then I was like not sure what was going on. I was like, I wasn't ready for this one. I already had a sexual identity crisis, and when I was in high school I didn't need another thing going on, you know, later on in my life. But we were talking about She-Ra, and I was like, you know, I look back at like all these other media things or whatever that like made me realize, oh yeah, maybe I'm not cis. But then I was like, I remember watching She-Ra and good old Double Trouble, baby. The chef's kiss a million times over, and just like realizing like, oh, there's like other people feel very similarly to me in terms of being non-binary, and that's kind of I think when I like honed in on being like, yes, I am that's me right there, that guy on the screen, that's me. We are the little guys, we are the same little guys. And so I always love knowing like what piece of media was like, maybe not didn't make you realize that you were trans or like, you know, queer in some way, but like made you kind of accept it and be like, oh my god, yeah, this is somebody that's like me, this feels like this is good, I like this.
I feel like I didn't have that with any media because I was just on Tumblr in 2015. And
that was your media, was your Tumblr?
That was my media, was just being on Tumblr in 2015, and that's kind of when a lot of people started talking about like non-binary and like agender. So I came out as agender in 2015. Yeah, still like I'm pretty sure it was 15 and not 14. I'm pretty sure it's 15. But I mean, so like mine's weird. It's just like from going from like cosplaying, like always cosplaying masculine characters to like just being on Tumblr and cosplaying, and then having, and then it I think it was because a lot of people suddenly started being like, oh, what's your gender? Are you a boy or a girl? Like, what's going on? And so I think like a lot of people asking me those questions.
Are you a boy or a girl?
I was like, I don't know. I don't know. So I think it was because of that, because people were like consistently like, but it was still like a new thing that kept being talked about. Like, people, society, like didn't really,
the way you
really,
said
like
that,
know about it. Society didn't really know, or like, you know, wasn't never.
Society calls me gay.
Society. Yeah, so I mean, just I didn't really have like a see a character on.
That's fair, yeah.
Or like see a person on a thing. Same with like even being bisexual. I didn't have that because I just played The Sims and made all my same gender Sims kiss and was like, dee.
Yeah, I feel like my bi crisis was very much it was a very easy like, oh yeah, that makes sense, and then I kind of moved on and I was like, it's fine. But I just like the idea of like people on Tumblr forcing you to question your identity. Like but they were like, what are you?
Forced me. It was just one of those that I like learned about it. And at first I didn't, it was like one of those things where you didn't think it mattered, because I've always been like, even in high school and stuff, I've always been a very androgynous person. And so back in high school, or like, no, even though starting in middle school, I used to have people think that I was a boy. And at first I was like, oh, this is fun. It was like, oh, okay, like whatever. And I kind of embraced that. And then I got to a point where I was like tired of it. I was over it. I was like, I don't like people thinking I'm a boy. So I'm back to being like more feminine, and then it's just kind of always like flip-flopped like throughout the years. And so then, and it never really like, I mean, it mattered to me at some points, but then it didn't. And then, you know, doing that whole Tumblr thing, and people kept like asking me because it mattered to them more than it really mattered to me. And so I think that's why, like, when I learned about being agender, and it's just kind of like, I don't have a gender, like, why does it matter, kind of thing, like that vibe with me.
Yeah,
you know. That was my tea.
I'm kind of in the same. I just have to say, y'all make me feel like an elder queer, and I'm pretty sure I'm the youngest one here.
That's why I'm like, I didn't like. I was on Tumblr, like I was in my 20s.
I literally okay. So for me, as for not for gender, but for my sexuality, it's literally my entire life. I knew my entire life. Like one of my first crushes, or one of my first few crushes, besides like one of the neighborhood boys, was my babysitter. She
Oh
was
my
a
God.
college girl across the apartment building next to me. And I was just like, I don't know.
The
like, this
girl,
lady's
the
just
babysitter next door.
My
I was
What?
just a scoundrel.
A little scoundrel.
I was no, but like I don't know. I'd always been the little kid to like go up to random women that I found pretty and be like, oh my God, I think you're so pretty, and they'd be like, oh my God, this little child, thank you, and I'm like, no, I think you're
Really?
pretty, really pretty. So that's just been like the entirety of my life.
That's
so
fair,
it's just
yeah.
kind of like always like I'm a little bit, yeah, you know. And then as for like my gender identity, like I was also on Tumblr and stuff like that, but that was not an influence to me at all. I literally I was always like a tomboy growing up. And when it got to like middle school, I started going by my middle name. Like when the teachers are like, oh, if there's a name that you want to go by or a nickname, just let me know. And I'd be like, I'd start writing down my middle name on like all my papers and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, this is normal, right? Like everybody does this, right? Which I mean, to be fair, my sister kind of did, but like that's a different story. So I was just like, yeah, no, this is fine. Apparently that's not normal.
Yeah.
And then like 2 years into doing that, I was like, I cut off all my hair. I don't know why, it just seems fun. So I was dressing just like pants, t-shirts all the time. And then one of my friends came over and started cutting my hair, and she just goes, so what are your pronouns? And I'm like, my what?
Who?
She's like, what are your pronouns? I'm like, I'm
what does that mean?
Not understanding what you're saying right now. And so she like talked to me about it, and I was like, that's what's been going on. Oh my God. So I was like, by the time that I realized what it was, I was like 13, but I had already been like doing different name and dressing differently since I was like 11. So it was like, I kind of just found out.
That's like genuinely so fascinating to me. I feel like, see, when I look back in retrospect, I'm like, how did no one know? How did I went by the name Steve for 2 years. How did no one know? I was like, I had Steve on the back of my softball jerseys, but everyone was like, they're just a tomboy, because I grew up with all of my cousins are boys, and I have a brother, and so it was very much like, oh, I'm just
like, oh, you're
surrounded
by people around you.
Yeah,
and I didn't have that. It was like literally just me. Like my sexuality, I was the first of the people around me, because again, like very, very young. Like I was literally, my first crush on a girl was 5 years old.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, I'm gay.
I'm gay.
I'm so gay. My first crush on a girl was when I was 5 years old, and then the first person I ever dated was actually a girl. First people that I ever like had intimate experiences with were all women. Like,
yeah,
I just have always been, and it wasn't any influence around me. And the same thing with being trans. Like, I cut off all my hair, started dressing differently, went by a different name, and this was all just like, oh, tee hee ha ha. And then someone was like, so anyway, trans people, and I was like, what's that?
Can you tell me more? That was
So yeah,
oh my God, yeah.
I've been out as trans for 12 years.
That's like incredible. Genuinely.
I know. It's a lot of people, like whenever I talk about this stuff, it's wild. Especially when I talk about starting on Twitch. I was on somebody else's stream and they were like, who was the non-binary or queer person that you looked up to when you started Twitch? And I was like, me.
Me. It was me.
Can I vote on myself? Thank you.
I mean, even when I started streaming like 3 years ago, I didn't know there's nobody.
Yeah, because I started 3 years ago.
I didn't find anybody. Like,
yeah. No, I started like a week before the first lockdown, or around the first lockdown. So like just I had literally sprained both my ankles and had to quit dancing. And so I was just like, let's find something to do. And so I started streaming.
Yeah.
And then I was the one.
Honestly, iconic. Yeah, truly.
Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like even when I started on Twitch, there was like no one until I got into the Soot Sprites Momo, and that's when I like met other people. It was like, because now I'm like trying to think back, because this is the most I feel like the wildest thing is like Krub is genuinely one of my first Twitch friends that I made, which is so whack. And I'm like trying to think about like even people like there was no one that I had like really known that I was like that was non-binary when I was like first started on Twitch. It was like, you know, it's just Krub. And now I feel like Krub has a very like diverse community, especially very like a very queer community. But like in the beginning it was just like,
It's
you
so
know,
interesting.
Animal Crossing kids and like
That's because he's neurodivergent.
yeah. Yeah. That always is so fascinating. God, I love it.
I mean, that's how I met y'all. So
True.
I had never played a Halo game, and I met y'all because of a straight man hosting a Halo tournament.
Krub brings the queer people together.
The straightest thing you could do.
It's literally, it's the way that Momo, when I saw you and I saw pronouns next to your name, I was like, how do I befriend this person without being a creep? I was just like, I think we said something about like holding hands, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh my god, are we gonna be friends?
Yes.
Oh we're friends.
We're friends. Yeah.
That was literally like, I remember when I
Halo tournament
got into the Soot Sprites and I was so excited, and then I was like, I saw Momo and I was like, friend.
Now here we are.
And look at that, married.
Now we're married.
Friend.
I can't zoom.
I know I can't zoom either. The superiority.
Have my camera open on OBS. I could have zoomed.
Oh, you could have zoomed.
I could have zoomed.
Oh my gosh.
You could have zoomed, but you did it.
Also, like sometimes I think about like how like when I was a kid, like a lot of the things that I was into, and then like realizing I didn't have like any understanding of like why does this stuff have to be for boys and why does this stuff have to be for girls? Like none of it ever made sense to me as a kid.
That was never in my wheelhouse because it was like I was the only, you know, quote unquote girl in the family. So I'm like, that didn't exist. I was just doing whatever they were doing because I didn't want to be alone.
Yeah, because I mean, I also had like an older brother, so I was like, oh, we were watching Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
And we were playing like video games, and I was into Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and everybody around me thought it was weird that I was into those things.
Did we all hate pink at some point too?
Yeah.
I've never liked the color pink, so.
Okay, that is so fair. It's like my favorite color now. I know that there's only like one thing that's pink in this picture right now, and it's my ears, but I swear it's my favorite color.
I still don't even care for pink.
I like enjoy it, but I definitely is not
personal.
like.
It's just not for me.
Yeah.
I say I didn't like pink, but I did at one point in high school have hot pink hair. So
that's kind of hair is like slightly different.
Yeah.
It's different though, you know.
Yeah. I want to see photos of you with hot pink hair. I'm not gonna lie.
Me too. Can I?
I'm kind of interested.
I'm trying to think if I have any.
Oh my god, if you do, I would love to. Yeah, I never like understood. I kind of just like played with whatever kept my attention was like the main thing. My parents were like, "Oh, you're interested in that? Great, do that instead of being a menace." You know, it was like not for me. Never like made any. There's no like distinction. I was like, I don't know. I want to go play baseball with my cousins and hang out and I don't do whatever. Go run around the orchard and eat blueberries off a bush. I don't know. I was just like a little like rural kid. I was just like living my life. Nothing made sense to me. I was like, I don't know. And then I also did cut my hair off. That was also a thing. And I'm like, how did nobody know? I shaved my head. I shaved my head twice. How did no one know?
Because like this is probably like the longest I've consistently have had my hair since I was like 13 years old. Which was a very long time ago.
Yeah.
But and then it's funny thinking back about, you know, like when we're talking about like queer media and stuff.
Yeah.
I think one of the first things I think I mentioned this when we had our conversation about like queer comics and stuff.
Yeah.
One of my first pieces of queer media was the manga Gravitation.
Oh!
I'm not going to talk about mine. I'm not going to talk about mine.
Oh my god. Vine, do I even want to know?
No, you do. I think you do know, but we're friendly here. We're family.
We're friendly.
It's rated teen.
Yeah, no, Gravitation is fine. Gravitation is fine.
That was my first like like queer media that I owned.
I guess mine
And I
was
like
completely wrong.
had the manga. And then I remember when I finally like came out as bisexual, I put on my Gaia online profile that I was bisexual. And my younger sister saw it and told my parents because she was 11. She didn't like, think anything of it. It's not her
Yeah.
fault. My mom blamed me reading Gravitation for making me gay.
Oh my
or
god.
bisexual. And thinking back about that, I'm like, that didn't make me bisexual. That made me trans.
Yeah.
No, it's the way that like, so I've got like a whole bunch of family stuff, but it's the way that my mom bought middle school year old me 18 plus BL books.
Oh my
knowing
god.
what was in them. Like we were at the store and she was buying them for me, and the lady was like, you know what's like in these, right? And she was like, yeah.
That like, this is so very unrelated, but I remember something very similar happening with my grandma. My grandma bought me GTA 5 when I was like and my grandma, they were like, you know what happens in this? And she was just like, yeah, it's fine. But I'm just like, imagine like little old me. When did I don't even know when GTA 5 came out.
God,
It might have. I don't remember if it was 5 or 4. No, 2013. It might have been 5.
What console was it for?
My 360, which I think was 5.
Oh, okay.
GTA 5's been out for a long time.
I have no idea.
Like 10 years.
Like when I was younger, it was like the freaking original GTA games
Yeah.
that I like saw. I never played them, but I like saw people like go to people's houses and they'd be like playing them. And I'm like, ooh.
Me watching a friend's brother play GTA and asking him to drive to the club, you know which one. Oh my
It's the way
god.
that I've never played GTA and I know.
You know. Oh my god.
What were you saying, Momo?
I was just thinking about like playing the Sims Herbs.
Oh, I
remember,
never
like,
played
playing
any
that
Sims
and-
spin-off games.
The Herbs was just iconic.
I am just
I
now
remember-
playing Sims for the first time, so.
Sims
Vine,
era,
Sims
era.
era. The Simmers are taking
do-
over. It's real.
Listen, I'm gonna be real with you guys.
Yeah.
I can watch you guys play it. It is so hard for me.
That
Like,
honestly is really fair.
It's just
I'm
like, what do
pretty
you do?
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Is I'm like, I'm pretty sure that I'm doing this right, and I'm just, doing my little things, feeding my cats, whatever. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm supposed to be doing more, right?
Doing the right
There's
amount.
no wrong way to play The Sims.
Oh,
though.
I know the
mean,
way I've watched
people will
it.
probably be like, "Oh, you should do this. You should do that." It's like, yeah, but it's The Sims. Like the whole
Just
point
do
is
whatever you
do what you
want.
want. Like
Yeah,
there's no
Follow your
rules.
heart.
Follow your heart.
Fun.
But then that's also the problem is you do what you want and then you don't know what you want to do.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I'm just
Oh,
a baby gamer.
I feel like, you know how you're saying how like, what is it, gravitation made you like trans mass?
Trans mass.
When I think about like the early like queer media I read and like listened to, or like I guess read, it was all fanfic. I feel like there was nothing when I was like super
Yes.
young
Mhm.
that like,
Yeah.
other than, okay, this is, I feel like a really sad representation, but I feel like my first exposure to like actual like queer people in media was Skins. Because and it's such a small portion. Well, like Max in the first like iteration of Skins, the first like group was gay, and then there was like a small little storyline between Max and the main character, and that's what got me into fanfic, because I was like, I want more. What do you mean they're not actually going to be together? This is wild. And then I got really upset, and so I went and read a bunch of fanfic about it. But I feel like that is like the thing that probably solidified my like orientation, was me just reading a bunch of fanfic and being like, also now that I look back at it, probably the reason why I like reading a lot of like men loving men work, and then being like, oh, I'm being told I'm fetishizing gay men when I'm like, no wait, I want to be that. That's what I want.
Yup.
This is the part
Yeah.
where people are like, "Oh, you're you're reading all this and it
From being called a
like,
Fujo in like middle and high school to being like,
and it's the to being like a trans mask. Or
Yeah, that's the real pipeline.
It's
one of
pipeline.
the
It's like, oh, that makes sense.
one of the first like queer medias that I consumed was after I came out, but it was actually Oron and Haruhi always being like, I don't care if you see me as a boy or girl. I'm like, oh, wow.
It's like one of those things.
Oh, I remember.
I still want to cosplay that version of Haruhi, like when she like first joins the school
Oh,
and they're wearing like the sweater
yes.
with the messy hair. I want to do that.
I like.
I remember watching Host Club for the first time and just being like, wow.
It was genuinely groundbreaking for my little brain.
I also remember because I was definitely 13, and a co-worker of my dad's, who knew I liked anime, was like, oh, let me rip like DVDs for you.
Oh my god.
So she literally put these animes that she had downloaded onto DVDs for me. And one of them was Art High School Host Club.
Oh my god.
Amazing.
And I remember like watching it on like the DVD being like, whoa, like this is the best thing ever. It's the pipeline of being feeling really connected to like women characters who are like disguising themselves as men.
Yes.
Yes.
Me and Mulan were best friends when I was younger.
She kind of hit.
I was like, I literally me watching Mulan and just being like, I kind of like that. I kind of like
cannot
that.
listen to the song Reflection in Mulan anymore without just tearing up.
Oh, sob. I'll cry.
I will sob.
Oh,
Never made me cry before, but now, just like
What if we all
thinking
have
about
fans
it,
watched Mulan?
we just.
I think we should. Yeah.
Three little guys watching movies.
Mulan.
Just watching Mulan,
Which it's
crying
like-
about it, dissecting it.
Yeah, I always find it so fascinating too that like I feel like a lot of people have like this it's not a universal experience obviously, but it's like a very common experience with like things that aren't even inherently like queer. Like Mulan is not like an inherently queer piece of media, but everyone is like I watched this and I was like, wow, this changed the way I thought about things, or like this mattered. I always find it so fascinating that like that still exists even in like when they're not, you know, explicitly stated in like queer media. Even though now, I mean, when we were younger, if there was like you could count on like your right hand, you could literally count on one hand, and so it was just
if it
like
it was bad.
It was bad. It was like, you know, the crumb that you get in Skins UK where it's like, oh, they make out for one scene and then that's literally it and you get nothing else.
It's the way that I watched John Tucker Must Die and like teaching the girl how to kiss in the one scene, and I'm just like,
hey. I'm trying to think of like the first thing that I saw that was like that. I think it was watching the movie The Runaways about Joan Jett.
Oh,
it was about Joan Jett, Kristen Stewart, and Dakota Fanning in it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Wait. Yes.
And
Kristen Stewart in The Runaways.
I watched that movie with my mother, and there was a scene where they were, you know, and I was like, oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh, I feel like.
Anyway, Kristen Stewart and Dakota Fanning were kissing, and I was just sitting there. I think I was like 17, and I was just sitting on the couch with my mom, like,
just having a moment.
Like sweating.
Oh my god.
And then I think my mom was just like, huh, didn't know they were lesbians.
I'm sobbing. Didn't know there were
surprise.
This is real funny.
Surprise.
Surprise
there, like,
lesbians.
I think it was like the first like thing that it had to have been like the first like thing that I saw that had something like that. Not counting, you know, like manga or like anime or something.
Yeah.
Like first human.
I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what my
media.
first like. Yeah, quote unquote human media.
Human media. Your flesh tuber media.
Yeah.
Because it was less common.
Yeah.
Well, here's
It's less
the
common
thing too.
like with that genre.
there was Netflix used to have like a gay and lesbian section, and they
Yeah.
actually took it away if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think that's how I found most of the stuff that I watched was through that, because
Yeah.
I didn't know anything else. Also, fun story, I didn't know what clearing browser history was when I was a child, so I still don't know why my family thinks it's a phase, but whatever.
No.
Oh, no.
Yeah, can you imagine how many years of familial computer use?
Oh my god. That's
I mean, I have my
genuinely
own
so
computer.
real.
Yeah.
We were a very technology family, so I had my own computer when I like 12 or 13. Got my own computer. My parents never went through it, so.
I feel like a lot of my like
Read all my
human
fanfics.
media, if you will, all of that.
Human media.
I don't know what I was gonna call it. I feel like most of that I didn't really get to, other than like, you know,
Maybe.
skins or like an occasional like
Maybe you
feel
just call it like Western
Western media.
I think is
That's
maybe
actually a
better,
really
'cause,
good
like,
way. Yeah.
Yeah, because when it
Yeah.
comes to like anime and manga and stuff, there was so much more of it.
Yeah. That I felt like it was so much more accessible too, and it was
It's
like
Western media.
Western
was
media.
very
That's a
less common.
human media. I'm so sick.
Human media.
Human.
Western media, yeah. But I feel like I didn't get into like live action. That's
'Cause
the
not even
word
live
for
action.
it.
Somebody in chat was talking about Legend of Korra.
Oh
and I'm
yeah.
like, yeah. It was like the literally just the last scene in Legend of Korra just like hit me just like a wave.
I
Like a ton of
oh
so
my God,
good.
yes.
I never watched Legend of Korra, and I also am currently attempting to restart and finish Adventure Time.
I've never seen Adventure Time.
Too. We were talking about this the other day. Adventure Time.
I have never seen
It's one
Adventure
of those
Time.
things. There's like so much build up like to it, and then when the queer finally happens, it just makes it all like, because I think like for a lot of pieces of like Western media, we're so used to everything being tiptoed around, you know, like it's
Yeah.
never like flat out like upright like gay. So when things are happening, like especially in Legend of Korra, like spoiler alert if you haven't seen Legend of Korra, it's been out for years. So sorry. But
So sorry.
The very end,
This is not spoiler free, by the way.
Be for real.
Korra and Asami like hold they literally hold hands. And then like
yeah.
walk into something like
I would lose
it's
it.
literally just them holding hands,
I'd
and
lose it.
like everybody just lost their minds.
Yeah.
Anybody would
Like
hold hands
that,
and
it was
walk off.
just so,
I do day.
it was just so impactful, like for them, because like so many of us were so used to, you know, like it's the things being queer coded or like, you know, queer baiting and stuff like that.
Don't even. I can't start talking
and
about queer
nothing
baiting or
even-
I will lose my mind.
Well, I feel like if we're talking
For
about
lack of
queer
a better
We
representation
got-
in
term,
media, we should be talking about queer baiting.
And I feel.
Yeah.
Hold on, we can go to queer baiting in a second if you want. we can get there in a
If you
second.
want, yeah,
Oh
do you
my
need-
God.
do you
No,
need
we can.
permission?
I
Do you
just
need
I
permission?
I just
Sorry
get
for
very
saying it.
frustrated, especially I feel like a lot more recently. People have
no, I feel
been
like that's fair though.
misconstruing and like not grasping what queer baiting
Queer baiting
means
actually-
because they
yes.
weren't in the trenches for the beginning of
Exactly.
Supernatural. They weren't in the trenches for Sherlock. They weren't like I genuinely like I feel like people like don't understand queer baiting unless they were like they love to I feel like in the Tumblr trenches. No, I just feel like that's the only way I can like describe it. Genuinely how it feels.
Yeah, or even like when you're saying like especially with like Korra and Asami and like
Yeah.
Legend of Korra, or in Adventure Time, Princess Bubblegum and Marceline. Like
Yeah.
it's like that whole thing where it's just
I just feel like I
stuff like
can't
that, like,
remember what
it's-
like more recently people were calling queer baiting. I think there was stuff in this is so wild. I feel like there was something in Heartstopper that people were like, "This is queer baiting," and I don't remember.
They were saying, if I'm not mistaken, I haven't watched Heartstopper, but this is what I got from an outside perspective, is they were saying that it was queer baiting because the actors were straight and they forced one of the actors to come out,
Yes,
basically.
that's what it
Yeah.
was, and I'm just
That's
like,
what it
how? Tell me that you don't understand what a word means without telling me that you don't understand what a word means.
And
Yeah.
they're like 18, like
Yeah.
a baby.
I
Like,
genuinely.
nobody owes anybody the knowledge of knowing what their sexuality is or gender identity or anything like that. Like, it's not owed to anybody. This is your reminder, chat room. You do not owe it to anybody to like tell them anything just to make them feel better.
And nobody else owes it to you.
Nobody else owes you. Yes.
Yeah.
And that goes for like, I mean, celebrities, I feel like double. I think Momo, we've had this conversation before, but a lot of times like something that I think goes really well, which is talking about like LGBT representation in media, is like in celebrities and in people that have like, you know, platforms and stuff like that. Nobody owes you what their identity is. I don't care if you think that there's a whole dissertation that you think that somebody identifies this way. They don't owe you that. And like speculating about it and talking about it so consistently on end is so damaging. It's like, I don't know how else to describe it other than like, it is such a damaging thing. Like I feel like this happens the most with Taylor Swift and with Harry Styles. People will speculate about, you know, Taylor Swift being a lesbian or Harry Styles being, and that's a whole thing.
Heard anything about that? I've heard all of it about Harry Styles, but I never heard anything about Taylor Swift. That's wild.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that
like
think she's
a very
a queer woman.
Very like strong subset of Swifties who like are very adamant that she's a.
And I think it's also like things like that where people are like gonna go and speculate like about these people, but then they're not gonna support like actual queer people.
Yes, exactly.
Or, like the queer artists that are like out and like proud, like, but they're gonna like speculate about other people, but then they're not gonna support the ones that are already out and like loud about it. It's like, just let people live their lives. They don't owe it to you, even if they are.
Yeah.
Like, even if both of them like are queer. Like, if they don't want to tell people, that's their business.
The Swifties want her to be a lesbian so bad, please. I just like, and I can understand the like want to have like this idol and someone that you can look up to that shares an identity with you or like shares like is a part of the same community as you. But like, I feel like people always so often forget that they're real people. Like, you can do that. You can be like, I'm going to speculate on this fictional character's identity, because at the end of the day, they're not real. They don't, like, that character doesn't have thoughts and feelings. Like, that's its own separate thing, but like, they're real people. And like,
it's weird to, it doesn't make sense for me for people to want to like push things onto real people. But then when it comes to fictional characters, it's like, why, like, it's harmless.
No, like, it's the way that I've seen people do that too, and it's just like, oh well, this real person hasn't explicitly said what they are, therefore I'm going to assume what they are. But when it comes to a fictional character, they're like, oh, you can't change that. You can't change. You're not allowed to. Why?
Yes.
Like,
why not? Oh, how dare you speculate?
Actually, everybody in the universe ever is gay. Thank you.
Let's
gay until proven straight.
Because this is a very recent Link from Legend of Zelda.
Yes!
Since it has now been re-brought up because people are mad about it.
People love to. Oh my god.
I love TransLink.
TransLink is real.
Transmasculine Link is real, and he is special to me.
Every woman is a lesbian at heart. I can't.
But it's just like, it's people like arguing about it because, you know, like, there's been a lot of articles, you know, surfacing again about Link being like gender neutral and stuff like that. It's like, literally they've stated, like, yes, in articles they've also stated that, like, Link is a boy, like, uses he him pronouns in games, like, sure, but also like him, the way he physically looks, they have designed him to be more androgynous and gender neutral, because they want, no matter who plays him, they want, you know, you as the player to feel connected to him no matter what your gender is. So that's why they have designed him like that. He is designed to be androgynous and gender neutral. So like,
it's the same thing. I feel like
so upset about it. Like,
it feels very similar with like also Genshin and Ether, because I think Ether originally was supposed to be the only main character, and then they allowed you to choose. And like Ether again is very like androgynous, like presented like you can project onto him. Yes, literally yes, and like you can project whatever you want onto that, and that's what people want in a main character most of the time, especially in games I feel like that appeal to like a wider audience necessarily. Like, that's what they want. That's like the whole point of the main character, so that the people playing can see themselves in that character no matter who they are. Like, that's.
I think it also like goes to like, it makes sense why there's so many like queer people who like freaking love Genshin Impact or just like the Legend of Zelda series is because there's like these androgynous characters that like we could play as to like feel like some kind of connection to them.
Yeah. Honest. Yeah.
Anyway.
I feel like I could go on a rant about it all the time. Like, just let people live their lives. Why does it matter to you?
It's so, I know, it's so hard. People get so upset when they see people projecting like identities and stuff onto characters. It's like, why does it matter?
Why?
There's literally no harm in it. Like, it just... Anyway, do you want a list of all of my characters I project my gender onto?
Yeah. Do you want a list of my gender? I feel like that's great. Let's get the list of the genders, okay? I think it's gender list time.
All right, right there. There's one right there.
I mean, I looked over and I have my body pillow right there, and I'm like, never mind.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, go ahead, fine.
Oh, I was gonna say, don't worry, I've got a condensed list. It's everyone.
Oh, you know what? You're so real for that.
Everyone.
You're so real for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, God.
I literally love that so much. It's everyone. Yeah, I'm like...
If you're in chat right now, I'm projecting my gender onto you.
Onto you.
Congratulations, you now don't have a gender.
Me staring at Albedo
Your
Genshin
gender
Impact.
is being transed as we speak.
Transed as we speak.
Get trans, nerds.
Exactly. I feel like somebody also brought up a really good point in chat where it was like a lot of the like the Taylor stuff had stemmed from like queer interpretation of her music and stuff like that. And it's like that is so I find that like totally okay, and like finding queer subtext and finding queer interpretations of things. I know that like Day talks about this a lot with Beastars of like looking at it as a queer allegory is like a very like valid and a big thing a lot of people do because it makes sense for them. But then it's like once you go beyond that,
yeah, because then
it's like
somebody else is gonna look at it and like figure something else out, like completely.
And it's like
it's gonna be different. It's different for everybody.
Yeah, that's like the
it
whole
can
point.
It can mean this.
Yeah.
To you, but then to somebody else is gonna mean something else, and then to the person who made it is gonna be a specific way. Like
yeah. I'm just like you can find queer subtext and you can find interpretations of things, but like don't take that interpretation and put it onto the person that made the media.
Let me tell you about all the queer subtext between Aki and Angel and Chainsaw.
Shall we begin?
It's right there. It's right there.
I'm gonna pull out the tattoo. Shall we begin? Pull the tattoo. Let's chat about the queer subtext in Tokyo Revengers, which is honestly more than I had expected.
Let me discuss.
It's time for hyperfixation
between Sasuke and Naruto.
Oh my god.
Naruto. Let me tell you.
I've only seen one clip of Naruto, and it's Sasuke and Naruto kissing, and I've seen literally nothing else, and so it's real in my mind.
Let me tell you.
One of my favorite recent conversations, I've never played a Kingdom Hearts game in my life, but I saw a meme about it, and Beeps was like, it's literally right there, but like Sora is more happy to I don't remember their names.
Riku?
Sora is more happy to see Riku than anybody else.
It's literally the relationship between like Sora and Riku is very similar to like the Naruto and Sasuke. It's like Sora is consistently like chasing after Riku, and so he's more excited to see him than what's her name? What's her name?
I don't know.
What's her name?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Remember.
I'll be honest, I don't know anything about Kingdom Hearts because every time Crub plays it on stream, I black out.
One point in Kingdom Hearts 2 where I think it's Kingdom Hearts 2. It's not 3. It's in Kingdom Hearts 2.
It's 2.
Sora literally like grabs
Kairi.
onto his Kairi, yes. He grabs onto Riku's hand and is like on his knees
sobbing
and crying.
Yes.
And you're telling me that Kairi is supposed to be his like
I feel like this happens so
joking.
often too.
You're
with like
kidding.
they try like I don't know. I just feel like never mind. I was like I need to stop that train of thought. I don't know where it's going, but I just
like fellas, is it gay to hold your best friend's hand?
Yes. Sorry.
And drop down on your knees and cry.
Gwenpool is canonically Air Ace, and I think that's beautiful. Wait, Cassandra, who is that?
Gwenpool?
Yeah, I don't know who that is. Is that
Deadpool?
Marvel?
Deadpool Gwen.
Yeah. I recently saw that. Congratulations
see
to our
that.
ace people on that. Slay.
I did. I mean, I saw Cassandra post about it on Twitter, but I didn't know exactly what it was from. Because I'm uneducated.
Yeah,
Marvel character. Banger.
It's like Gwen, what's her name? That was originally in Spider-Man. It was a Spider-Man, but now it's like
Gwen Stacy?
yeah, that's like
Spider
the
Gwen?
same
Same
Is it the
concept.
same person?
character
Concept.
Right.
Oh.
Is it the same
but
person?
like same like different but different universe. It is a Deadpool instead of a Spider-Man, right?
I love that for her. Look at her go.
right?
Gwenpool is someone from a universe where superheroes are well known from comics called Gwenpool, and Spider-Gwen is an alternate version of Gwen Stacy where Gwen is bitten by a radioactive spider instead of Peter Parker.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love that. I know nothing about.
Situation.
Oh, you okay? Cassandra also.
I don't know why I know. Like,
Cassandra's like, I also don't know.
I just have this knowledge. Like,
Yeah.
I googled it.
I thank you for the Google. I'm like, I don't know who this is. Love Spider. Honestly, I love that though. Like this is what I want more of. I want more like explicit representation. Because I feel like
and also
as much as I
there's
love just like the subtext, I love the little like connecting the dots and being like, you know, interpreting things for myself. I love that. I eat that up. I'm like the little English lover in my heart eats that up. But I'm just like, I need more explicit. Because also it's such a tiring,
Let's
I feel
talk
like
about explicit queer media and talk about Our Flag Means Death.
which I still haven't seen. You said explicit
I
queer
haven't
media, and I was like, where
I
are you
haven't seen
going
it
with this,
either.
Momo? What do you mean explicit queer media?
Family friendly stream.
The
It's a family friendly stream.
I'm
Anyway,
looking-
did you watch it?
The explicit.
I mean,
I know.
Like, it is queer.
I know what you mean, but the way you start phrasing it, the way that you started going, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Because I feel like it's such a tiring fight too. Is just being like taught like of being like this person or like these two people are in love in my thought, and everyone's like, well, no, they're not actually, and they like push their glasses up and they do the like, well, actually, and they start typing a novel out to you. It's a tiring thing. I'm like, I tell me that someone is gay so I can like look at those people and be like, that person's gay. I was told by, you know, X creator, look at that. Thank you so much. I don't have to worry about it anymore. Instead of being like, well, actually, here's all of the subtext and like, you know.
But it's also like not to. I mean, this is another thing. I feel like a lot of people, like, even if you haven't watched Our Flag Means Death by now, like most people know about this. Like, there is a canon non-binary character, and in the show, and it's the first piece of, I think, like, truly, it's the first piece of like media that I've ever seen that has had like a non-binary character, and the way they like go about it in the show, and also played by a non-binary person. So
Can't get better than this.
Can't get better than that. I mean, that's also, it's just the whole show is queer.
Yeah.
But to like see that, and then like there's like a little bit in an episode where they kind of like discuss it. They're like, oh, well, like what's it? And they're like, and it's just so normal and not a big deal. And to like watch that and see that and sit there on the couch and just be like,
Yeah.
like a single tear streaming down my face, like, I can't believe this is real.
Yeah, I feel like
it was truly the first time ever that I've watched something that I truly felt represented.
Yeah,
like,
because I feel like
and be like,
oftentimes,
that's me, like,
especially like now, people, I feel like a lot of the representation that we are getting now is it's like that is the whole plot of the show is around this person's identity or this person like, you know, navigating something as his like identity, and I'm like, I just want normal me. Like, I just want
exist and be normal.
I just want it to be like I like genuinely I love Heartstopper so much, but I'm just like, this is the whole thing is surrounded by their relationship and their navigation, which is lovely and is such a good thing to have, especially for like I feel like younger like queer people. Yeah, this is like the perfect thing for them. It's like there's no barrier gaze trope. There's no like there's angst, but there's not like intensive issues where it's like everything goes wrong for them and nothing is happy. But like, I'm like, I also just want.
That's the thing I want to talk about.
Oh, as always, yes.
I don't have any, like, my brain can't come up with specific examples right now, but it really, as a queer person with extensive amounts of trauma, I would like queer media that doesn't have that, because I'm tired of watching queer media and being like, oh, I went through that. Oh no, I went through that too. Oh, I went through that too.
Yeah.
Like, can I just be like, oh, look at that. They're safe. They're happy. Wow.
Me watching Yuri on Ice crying every time because I'm like, oh my god, they're gay and they're happy. They're married.
The one Twitter meme going around where it's like, how do you serve in a goofy, silly way? And it was Yuri, like, he like seduced Victor into being his coach.
Oh my gosh. Talk about queer media that broke the internet. Oh my god.
Because that was another, talking about queer baiting, that's another,
yes.
It was like, I think Yuri on Ice was like one of those things where you're like, oh, they're queer baiting us. And they weren't.
They weren't. It was real.
They weren't. It was real.
I
until the end.
so vividly remember watching it. I watched it with my friend Lars that's in chat. Is the one, shout out Lars first of all, because Lars is the reason why I was able, like, truly came to terms with like a lot of my identities and also introduced me to a lot of queer media. But like, I remember the two of us watching Yuri on Ice, I think as it was coming out, and just like being so excited that it was real. That it was real.
The episode where they smooched, even though like you can't see it, but like they very obviously, everybody was like, it's like, that was the episode where it was like, whoa,
screaming, literally like losing my mind.
Tumblr blew up that
Oh
day.
yeah.
No, literally.
Gay people are real.
Gay people are real.
And they're in love.
They're in love. Oh my gosh.
Very nice.
God, I love that. Around the same time as when, listen, I feel like I have to talk about this because this is a recommendation I have for a lot of people that I find really, I personally really like it. I feel like it's maybe not the best representation of like queer stories, and it's not just the happy, silly queer story that you want it to be. There is like some trauma, but is Skam, which is the one that I think I was talking about, the Norwegian show. And I remember when this was coming out. So it's very similar to, like, if you've seen Skins, it's very similar to that in terms of how they rotate cast every now and then. Like, there's, like, a core group of people, and each season focused on, like, one of those people. And it was like, okay, this is your season, this is your season. Season 3, spoiler alert, I guess. Season 3 is about someone coming to terms with the fact that he's gay and that he likes men. And it's like, oh, my God. I remember watching this so vividly, like, in college. And just like sitting there and like not really knowing, like we kind of knew what was gonna happen, but like it also didn't, because there was like some like, what is it, there's some like crumbs in some of the earlier seasons where you're like, oh, maybe this is gonna be a thing. And then just like the trailer for season 3 of the show is the main character in a locker room and cartons of milk are getting thrown around, so I'm sure you can like picture the imagery of what's going on there. It is, I'll have to send the trailer in our chat. I can't watch it on stream, but it's really something. And I remember so like vividly like sitting and just like watching this happen and being like, I can't believe that like they're like they kiss. I'm like, I remember being so baffled and being like having that and Yuri on Ice around the same time. I was like, wow, media's really turning around, man. There's all look at all these gay people in media, and then, you know, here we are, and it's like still fucking
all these gay
still picking breadcrumbs and things like that. Oh my gosh. Oh, I need to rewatch it. I'm thinking about it now. I've been wanting to rewatch. The best part about that show too was, so as it was airing, I think episodes aired on Friday. And in between episode releases, each character had their own Instagram, like actual Instagram. And so they would post on the Instagram throughout the week as if they were like living their life throughout the week. And they would also release like texts and clips, and like as like leading up to the release, like you would have the episode, and then in between there would be like all of these other little like just extra little thing like tidbits that you could have. Just oh my god, it was. I'll be honest, it was incredible. I think more shows need to do that. I was like, every week I'd be like checking their Instagram, being like, oh my god, did the character post whatever? So good, so good.
I'm trying to think of like the most recent like.
Oh yeah, what have you been watching recently?
I don't know.
I feel like I think the most recent thing.
Oh, I watched
mine's
the
all
show
anime,
on Netflix, Sandman
oh yeah,
on Netflix.
Is that Neil
Very
Gaiman's
queer.
thing?
yeah.
Yes. Very good. I think it's it's very underrated. I don't think like a lot of people don't really talk about it, but it's so queer. And it's one of those things where it's just like the characters are just there. Like they're just there existing. Like there's no explanation
I love
for anything
that.
like at all. They're just there and queer. And I was like, this is so
Just like me.
nice. Such
I also
Just
have
like
no
me,
explanation.
just here and queer.
I'm just here
existing
and queer with no explanation.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
fine.
it's
Tell us
so-
about yourself. No.
No,
No,
I don't get to know
just
anything.
existing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just so like it's just so interesting. And just like so fascinating and like so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just queer. I just like watching the first episode, you're like, oh, just queer people.
Yeah.
Totally normal. That's the thing. They're like you're like, it's just normal.
It's just
and it's weird to
it's
be
so weird.
shocked about queer people existing in media, and it's just normal.
Normal.
Like not kind of not really spoilers. Like since I already talked about it, there's like one of like the characters. So like there's a character and he's like starts off young and then it's like he lives with his dad and then he gets like older and is married to a man.
Just like I love
and it's just
that.
normal, just like that, just normal.
Yeah.
Just normally married to a man, like it's no big deal. And I'm just sitting there like,
Oh.
I'm like, and then there's another character that had like an ex-girlfriend and it's just there. It's just normal.
I genuinely
no
love
big
that.
deal. And I'm just like, wow.
Don't even
Wow,
get me
what do you
started
know?
on number 6. I'll cry. I'll cry on stream.
Number 6.
Thinking about number 6 always and forever.
Oh.
Ever
Oh
think
my
about
god. I never
how-
finished it.
It's
The ending was awful, but it
Yeah,
just could've
I
been so
never
much
finished
more.
it.
yeah.
But it was just
And now it's
you know
like
what?
9. You can't. It's not on any streaming. Nobody has distribution rights. It's on no streaming services.
well,
Although
they're starting to release
the
figures for
Nendos,
it.
yeah, the Nendos
are coming out.
I want the
So, it
Nendos,
might
and I have my.
spark-
Let me get my little goodies I have.
Here, my little goodies.
Number 6 deserves a redo.
I've got me omnibus for 1 to 3, but then I have also number 1 volume and number 2 because I just
also,
think
like-
everything. Oh my god, chat.
But also, like, number 6 was originally a light novel,
Yeah,
like before it was an anime or a manga.
yeah. Oh,
And I remember, like, when it first came out, like somebody, because I don't know, is the light novel even translated like officially into English, like at all?
not that I'm aware, but I know that they reprinted the
weird.
manga, and so they maybe are reprinting the light novel in an English translation because I
Because-
know they've been doing a lot more with it. But also, I'm like, where's the give it to me? I want it. I want to watch it again.
Yeah, it was so good.
Gosh, I can't back.
So good. But yeah, I think I don't remember what my thought was gonna be. I just know that like when the anime was like first came out and then people were talking about it being like the light novel, somebody had like done an unofficial translation that you could read online.
Yeah.
And that was like the only way you could get it. So yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching that anime and again being like, wow. Again, I think I watched it around the same time. I feel like Yuri on Ice, Scam, and number 6 were all around the same time for me. And so,
No. Oh.
Like,
Okay,
at least for
number
when
6
I-
was first for me. I think
yeah.
I watched number 6 in like 2004, like
I
13,
watched-
14.
Yeah, no, I think that was around the same time for me as well because I watched
Mhm.
it
It
with a
just
friend
came
after I moved to
out.
Florida.
Yeah. I
It
remember
was-
like the scene being like,
Yeah, I just was like
it
genuinely so like fascinated with me because again, I think Lars is the one that introduced it to me, and so I was like, we were watching Yuri on Ice as it came out, and then we were watching, I think Scam was around like similar release time, and then we also just watched Number 6 too. We were watching anything gay that we could get our hands on. It was like we were watching short like films that weren't ever translated into English. They only had like subtitles. We were watching like anything. We were like, oh, it's got a crumb of gay. Give it to me right now. We're gonna sit on our couch and we're gonna watch it. Like, Lars made me gay and trans, literally confirmed. I was already gay, but like made me gayer, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Combo.
Yeah. In terms of like anime though that I was watching recently, where being gay was like very normal, which I was surprised for, is there's two that like are coming to my mind. One of them, I guess, is like a little bit of like a spoiler. I feel like, you know, it's not even a spoiler, but there's Zombieland Saga, and there's a trans character in Zombieland Saga, and I did not. So I went into watching this. I had no idea, and I remember watching it, and then it was like a plot point for like 5 minutes of being like of you finding out that this character is actually trans, and then like it's not, it's just as like she just gets to exist as she is, and like that is it. Like nobody, it's never like a huge, like at first people like, you know, they're like surprised or whatever, but like it's literally moved past and it's like, yeah, she's trans and that's just how it is. And I'm like, I don't think that
I feel like it's always been so rare in anime in particular, because there's a lot of like negative, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Negative interpretations of trans people in like anime and stuff, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. I was surprised at how obviously like things are different, and it wasn't the best representation, but Haruhi's parent.
Yeah.
Like, I was surprised at how positively they were received, but it was still not great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the character
Yeah.
was there.
Yeah, and like everyone's
Oran
initial
has
reaction was like,
aged well at all because of that. So.
Yeah.
It hasn't aged well for that and a few other reasons, but
so many other reasons, but
what?
Yeah.
5 minutes and the T slur gets dropped, like.
yeah.
Yeah, no, Zombieland Saga was definitely one that I was like not expecting. I think that was also the one, the most recent, that I cried about, because it's like, it's also like, it's not like, I feel like this one is often not depicted, but it was like a young girl, like it's like a younger trans person, like super young, like I think she's the youngest of the group, and it's just like depicted as like, it's just she knows and that's who she is, and it's never discussed, it's never like a point of contention. And I'm like, I just remember like finishing that episode and just like sobbing and just being like, oh my god, she's trans and no one cares, and it's like a younger trans. I feel like that, like a lot of times whenever you like see trans representation in media, it's like they're in high school or they're older, and like I don't know how old like canonically, but I'm like, she was like young, like a kid. And that's just like genuinely, I feel like I'm like, that's what we need more of, is like trans youth representation in media, because I feel like now especially like trans youth are the one, like in the US for sure, like the ones that are like such a point of contention in terms of like, we have to save the kids. I'm gonna cry, I can't do that, but like,
and I think, what's that? Hold on, I gotta think of that one. And then there's that one character from the video game series Guilty Gear, Bridget, who's who's
I've never even heard of this game. What?
You've never heard of Guilty Gear?
No, what is this?
There's been like the new one just recently came out.
I'm looking.
And there's a character, Bridget, who's always been referred to in a certain way because of like how she looks and stuff like that. And they just recently in the new game finally announced that she is a trans woman, and people were like up in arms about it. But she's always been one. It was just never really talked. It wasn't really
looking now. I'm like staring at photos right now. I'm like,
because and like I was saying earlier, in a lot of like anime and like Japanese media, trans characters were always like viewed in a certain way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she was definitely viewed in a certain way, and now they've officially confirmed that, you know, she's a trans girly.
I love that for her. 10 out of 10.
I know, iconic. We stand.
Truly,
Bridget from
I've
Guilty
also,
Gear.
I'm like, I've never seen this game series before. I have no idea what this
I
is.
didn't either until all of this stuff happened.
It's so
and I was like,
fascinating.
"Oh."
I think I just was a weeb through and through.
Yeah, I don't.
I knew everything.
I feel like I'm not looking at like at least the style of the game. It definitely were not my
It's a fighting game, so
Yeah, definitely not my. And I like tried playing Tekken a little bit, which seems like a similar like at least mechanic system. And I was like, it was not for me, so I simply moved on and never played any of those games again. I was like, not for me. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, there was another one that I wanted to talk about that in terms of like you were talking about like our flags mean, or what is it? The people that are just like queer in media and like general.
Yeah.
This one's also another anime, but in Horimiya, which is a romance anime manga.
Half of it.
There's an episode, I think you might have already gone to the episode. There's an episode where it mentions that one character is bi. And it's just like, it's just talked about. And it's like, here's this thing, but it's like, not a plot point, which I'm like, I kind of am like, oh, I kind of like that because it shows that like, oh, you know, this character's sexual like identity is still valid, even though, you know, pursuing like a same sex like relationship or like a same like, you know, a home, what's the word for it? Heterosexual relationship. I'm like, what's the word? What's the word for it?
I have no idea what you're trying to say right now.
Heterosexual relationship. And it's so fascinating because it was like, I will be honest, the anime I feel like doesn't have the best depiction of things because the anime itself is like very confusing. The plot points are not, there's a lot going on. They like the anime adaptation of the manga did like chapters 1 to 60 and then skipped from 60 to like 120 and then did the ending. But they're coming on to season 2 for the rest of the story. I don't know what they're doing. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's very confusing. But it was like at a plot point and then we were like, at the way that the show was set up, we were like, is this gonna be like more? Or is this like just, is it what it is? And then it was just, it had nothing to do with it. But also it kept looking like it was gonna become like a gay anime, and then it was very weird. But the character itself, I was like, oh, it's kind of nice that it's like mentioned that like the character is kind of just bi and is just like there, and then but that's like not the point. Doesn't matter. Like, you know, he's still like pursuing this relationship with this other person. I don't know. It's very interesting to me, and I kind of liked it, even though it's like not, you know, I guess like it's nice to just show like characters and like their I don't know. Showing that like their sexuality and their orientation and things like that aren't like every single part of them. Like it's just this like piece, and like they are still, you know, fully fleshed out people with like they can still have preferences and like pursue other relationships. Because I feel like that's a huge thing, especially with like bi and like pan people being like, oh well, you can't be gay because you're in like a straight passing relationship, like, or you're in a gonna make me rip my hair out, but
well.
Yeah, I was just like, that was kind of nice. That one it was confusing, but it was good. But the confusing part was just the anime plot, not anything else.
The other queer thing that I recently watched, I forgot about, was the new Interview with the Vampire series show. Mm-hmm. And Interview with the Vampire has always been one of those like pieces of media where it's like in the book, it's never really like explicitly stated that that Louis and Lestat are like in love or like had a relationship, but like everybody, like, you knew like that they did. It was very obvious, but it's never really like discussed past a certain point, I guess. And then like in the original movie, you would like pick up on those vibes, and now they have the new show that is like the new show is technically a continuation of the movie. It kind of like picks up from like the original, at least, story, but in the new show they're gay. They're just like, they're just like, yo, very much like they have a relationship and they navigate their relationship, because they kind of made it in the new show, like, spoiler alert, not really spoiler alert, because it's Interview with a Vampire. So it's the person from the person from the original movie who originally interviewed Louis about like his life with Lestat and like how he became a vampire and stuff. It's him going back to meet with him years later to re-interview him to get more of like the story, because Louis kind of like lied to him about a lot of things. So it's kind of like a redo of the interview where he's like discussing more about his relationship with this Lestat and how he was in love with him. Like, it's just, I couldn't believe it. I was like, I cannot believe that they're actually
yeah, because I
talking about this. Like,
They're gay.
yeah,
they're gay.
I feel like, especially like before the show came out, I like remember a lot of times people like talking about like, oh, like good, you know, LGBTQIA plus films to watch or whatever. And Interview with the Vampire would always kind of come up and be like, well, it's not explicit, but
they are in love and they adopt a daughter.
Yeah, and then it's like, now that the show's out, it's just kind of like, oh yeah, it's like I love it. I love it.
Very good.
I love when you have like a piece of media and then like you're kind of like, oh, these people like might be gay, and then like later on the creators are like, by the way, you
the
were
author
right.
of the books.
Yeah.
Anne Rice has
Let me
always
let
been like,
you
yeah,
in
they
on
have
a
a
little
relationship.
secret.
Like,
Yeah.
she's always very much stated that they had a relationship. So like we knew, but it was just never really like
Listen,
explored
unless it's
upon
not
until
like
now.
written in neon signs across a cityscape, it's not real, Momo. It has to be so
true.
explicit,
How
because
how could I forget? I
you
need to see
know,
them smooching.
not everything has to be gay, Momo. Oh my.
Not
worst.
everything has to be gay, but everything
Yes,
that
it
I'm
does.
around does.
As exactly. Everything is gay until proven otherwise, in my personal opinion.
No, it's the way that I've gotten to that point in my life because of the people I'm surrounded by. I'm like, you literally have to come out as straight to me, because as soon as we're friends, I assume you're some form of queer.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's so interesting going from like, because you know, like before the pandemic, I was never really around other queer people. I knew like one other queer person. So now, pandemic, streaming on Twitch, like actually meeting and being friends with like only other queer people. It's just kind of like in your brain,
exception.
you're just
when
you now like meet new people, you're just like, oh yeah, you have to remind yourself not everybody's queer. Because now everything's kind of been like reversed.
Yeah,
It's always
exactly.
been around, you know, like people who weren't queer, so you're like had to meet queer people, and now everybody's queer around me and in my space, so now I have to remind myself, oh, you're straight people.
That's like, honestly,
People who are
yeah.
not queer.
I feel like I was really
Which is
lucky
weird.
with like finding a queer community very early on. But like as soon as I moved to college, it was like, oh, everyone I was friends with was queer in some way, shape, or form. And I think even now I'm pretty sure that stayed the same. Like, if anything, that friend group's become even more queer since the last time I've hung out with them. But then like, yeah, going and like working in the like film industry was like a bit of a backlash, because I was like, oh, everyone I was friends with in college was all queer, because I mean, probably because I was in the art school, I was like in the film school, and we were all just little gay guys, we're all just little guys running around, you know, doing our silly little art stuff. But then going into like professional film and being like, oh, that's not the norm anymore, was like such a like, not like a culture shock. Like I still found like other queer people and it was still very common, but it was like always like the people I worked with close, like two of the people I worked with closest, like the most, were just two straight cis white old men. And I was always just like, man, here I am, look at me. And it was always just like seeing me and like next to them, and I'm like, wow. They really just like picked up like a tiny little trans queer person to like do work with. It's just very funny to me. But then now, like that I'm on Twitch, I'm back to being surrounded by almost exclusively queer people, which is great. Oh. As far as sexist goes, but when I visit my dad, it's the complete and total opposite. It's so wild. That's kind of how it is. Sometimes I wonder how many people from my high school also turned out gay in some way, because when I was in high school, I only knew two other gay people in my school, and they were dating, And it was like that was it. That was the only other people I didn't know anybody that was trans in my school, at least at the time. We had no idea. And so that was like a very
people that I've trans their genders.
trans your gender.
But I also think that like it's one of those things too where like it's like a lot of people more recently like figuring out they're trans is because now we have access to the people have access to information.
Yes.
And can actually like learn about
actually
it.
understanding.
Like yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, if I had the language for that when I was in like middle school,
yeah,
like if I knew, I would have known that.
Yeah, honestly, that's
I didn't
it.
know. Like,
It's
I had no clue.
Yeah,
It's the same way that like when you're younger, you wouldn't know what profession or anything you wanted to be in. Nobody would want to be astronauts or doctors, even princesses, without knowing what those things were. You don't know what that thing is. You don't know what a princess is until you see a princess in a book or a movie or something like that. You don't just you're not born knowing what a princess is.
That is true.
Like,
yeah. Now that there's like access, sometimes I think about like
and I think it's especially hard for like people who identify under the non-binary umbrella because like I think it's one thing for a lot of people to be like, I know I'm a boy, or like I know I'm a girl, but then like when you don't feel like anything, it's extra confusing.
I am something
because you're just like, and I think that's why like for so many years I constantly flopped between being masculine and feminine because I was like, I can't figure out what is going on. And I remember like being in high school and explicitly like telling my friends, being like, I wish there was something between being a boy and a girl, because that's what I would be. Joke's on me.
Joke's on you. Look at you now.
Wait a second.
Wait a minute.
There was this whole time.
Yeah. I like can so vividly remember like the time leading up to me figuring out that I was non-binary or trans, as I was like I'd always like kind of knew that those words existed because I was also on Tumblr, and so I like had like they were in my brain, and I like had understood that people use like neopronouns or like they them pronouns is like a thing. All of that was like kind of in my like knowledge bank, but I just like didn't understand what that felt like, which also that might just be the neurodivergent in me and not like unless something is explicitly told to me, like not knowing. And I just, oh my gosh, not my Spotify pausing itself. Why did you do that? There we go. And then like I remember I think it was like early 2019, I started having like I don't remember what I saw. I swear that it must have been like a TikTok or something, but there was like there was some random piece of media that I like saw, and I just was like, oh my god. And then I was like, things started making sense, and then I was like, I just remember like having a crisis. Every time I'd go out clothes shopping, I'd have a crisis. I'd have like a literal like meltdown and being like, why can't I find things that make me feel like myself, but also like fit me the way that I want them to fit? Because it was just like, I don't know, I feel like my style for the most part is very just like kind of in the middle. I don't know. I've no idea, but I was just always like struggling. And I remember like, this is such a weird, very vivid memory. This is when I was still living in LA too. I was in a cafe with Daniel, who is my partner for those that don't know. And we had just gone like thrift shopping or whatever, and I was like having a meltdown, like literally having a meltdown. And I remember getting my coffee from this cafe, going outside and sitting on the ground and just like sobbing my eyes out. And Daniel was like, what is going on? And I didn't come on to him for like another like month or so at that point. But I was just like, I remember being like, something is not like, I kind of like had come to the terms of being like, oh, not everyone feels like this. This is not a common, like it's a common experience between trans people. Not a common experience between
neurodivergent people as well.
That too. Oh my god. Yeah.
The dysphoria on top of the autism. I literally changed 4 times the other day just to pick Sachi up from the airport.
Yeah. God, that's such a mood. Genuinely is such a mood. Me like going through and just being like having like aesthetic crises. Like it's so funny to me because in one of my Instagrams, fun fact about me, for a while I had like 7 Instagrams. It was a lot. I don't know what was going on with Emrys K, but there's one that I had that was like a throwaway like alt account that I had that I was like, you can so clearly watch me figure out that I am trans. And it is, sometimes I go back and I look at it and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Signs were there.
Me DMing gay every time he says something
I
for
won't stop because I can't read.
Literally, please. Oh my goodness. Oh, and then also me being plus size and not. Yes, literally, Jules. Yes, being a plus size autistic trans person is the worst thing in the world. It makes me want to cry when I try to look for clothes. But you know what? It's fine. We ball. Not me smacking my mic. I'm sorry. We ball. You know?
Simply vibe.
Yeah.
Simply vibe.
We got off the media topic, but it's fine. We're just here. We're just chatting. It's fine.
It all comes
Yeah.
full circle.
Well, absolutely.
I did want to ask what your recs are, because I feel like, Momo, we've talked about recs before between each other, and I'm like, I always love talking about like what are your
recs.
faves? I have new ones that I've read recently. I was so excited because I was like, wow, I've read new, and I've also watched things. Like more recently that I'm like, oh, I can add these to I can add them to the list of things. But I don't know if any of you have, I guess, like your favorites.
I don't really. I'm gonna be honest.
I know that you told me you were like.
I get my recs from y'all for the most part, and then
That's
we
so
send
fair.
our mangas back and forth.
Yeah. We could talk about the lesbians in Chainsaw Man, because I'll talk about the lesbians in Chainsaw Man any day of my life.
Konzi.
Here's my rec.
Have you read that?
Riot.
I haven't read it yet.
I'm gonna look it
I
up.
finally finished volume 2, but it's basically about this high schooler who's a trans man, but can't like tell anybody or can't really come out to anybody, and so is kind of just like stuck in the closet, and he has to like navigate that. And then there's this new guy that comes to school, who's just like this guy, but basically like the main character does like art and like does spray painting, and the new guy like sees him do that, is like, hey, we should start a fashion brand. And so he's like, what? And then eventually like he comes out to him and he's like, I feel like I'm a boy trapped in a girl's body. And then this guy's kind of like, okay, like and so they start like a fashion brand together, and it's like navigating
I love that.
Like it's really good. I read volume 2 and there were things in it that just broke me, because I'm just like, but it's so good. It's really good. I highly recommend it. It's called Boys Run the Riot.
There's one
I haven't finished it, but
I picked up recently. I haven't started reading it yet, though. Some people may have seen, there was like one specific screen cap of one of the pages going around recently called She Loves to Cook, She Loves to Eat. And it's a GL.
Yes!
I have the first volume. I haven't read it yet, but just based off of the screen cap that I saw, I'm very excited to read it. It looks very cute.
I love that. I've had Boys Run the Riot for a while, and because I found out, I was like looking at, whenever I started getting back into reading like graphic novels and manga, I was like, oh, I want like queer media. It's all I want to consume, because at this point, if it's not like, you know, at least if I can't read queer subtext out of it, then what's the point for me?
God, yeah, I feel that actually.
Yeah, I'm like, that's all that I want, all my little brain, it's all at once, but I haven't had a chance to like properly actually read Boys Run. I have all 4 volumes. I bought them so fast. I literally bought them so fast. I was like, yes, and then I haven't read them yet, which is my problem. I have a lot of things on here I haven't read. My shelf is a lot of to be read.
Oh God, same. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Yeah, I have some other ones in my other room that I need to read, because Emma's last time we talked about like queer comics and stuff, there were a lot of recs that people put in chat.
Oh my God,
that
yes.
I bought. So I bought I guess the Magic Fish is one that people recommended. A graphic novel.
Oh yes, I'm
that I bought, and I still haven't read it, but I haven't.
Oh no, I'm pulling out some of the physical.
This is the last one that I've actually like read that I would recommend. It's just very, especially, you know, when it comes to like manga in particular, having stuff that has, you know, like queer characters, especially like trans characters, is like always been like so rare. So to like and it's written by a trans man, by the way. The author is a trans man.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I want.
Give it to me.
Also, Verixa, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. That's what I honestly love, because I feel like I never look into the authors, I guess, which maybe I should more.
This one is like, it's like in the back or something.
Yeah. That's actually
There's
really
like
incredible.
A whole thing that like, talks about it. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because there's
Oh, and there's like in the back, there's like a list of like terms and stuff. So it's like terms like gender identity disorder. So it like, talks about like that. It talks about what binding means.
Yeah. That's actually really incredible.
Stuff like that. Yeah, there's an interview with the
I'm
author.
soft.
I'm literally like,
It's really good.
I know.
I love that. So obviously there's such a little traumatized group. That's how I feel like, so at least for me, I feel like I also very much automatically read a lot of things with a queer subtext. Which I think is a talent, not a flaw, if I'm being honest. But I definitely understand that one. I definitely like am the same way. I'm like very much, yes, that's all. Oh my god, yes. That's how I am with.
Are gay because I say so.
That's how I am with Tokyo Revengers. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm like every single one of them.
Queer-coded. I know nothing about it, but everything I know from my friends and y'all are so queer-coded.
There is one character who just he just wears high heels. He just does it. It's just a thing.
That's
and
queer.
I'm like, and he.
Poor feet.
Oh my god, I know. I'm thinking about like fighting in high heel. Like literally, like he fights in high heels. Like I can't even. He's just like a mechanic and like fights in high heels, and I'm like, I love you. You are everything to me. You are. Honestly, but I just like don't. The subtext in that series is just so. Every character I relate to is autistic. That too, Zag. That too.
No, literally. Every time I like someone like reacts a certain way, I'm just like, oh. Is that
could it be? Could it be? Is it possibly?
I project myself on every character. Thank you.
Yeah, literally. And I'm like,
every character is me.
Yeah. And there's a scene, this one I don't think is like that spoilery, but there's a scene in Tokyo Revengers 2 with the character that wears the heels and his quote unquote best friend where they kiss. And everyone loves to make it the hot topic of being like, well, because one of them's napping. And I'm like, no, he's literally awake. Like, he's awake. And people are like, it's a whole thing of being like, their like relationship is very like kind of interesting. And the one that wears high heels, he has like a sister who passes away, rest in peace. But the other friend is like in love with the sister, but then like, starts to realize that like she's moved on and is like, I don't know how to explain this in like a way that makes sense and without spoiling so many things, but there's like a lot that goes on where people love to like convolute the one character's feelings and being like, well, he's just seeing his sister and like everything they do, all of that stuff. And I'm like, you can have feelings for more than one person and then like get over those and move on, and that's okay. Like that's a thing that's allowed to happen. People are allowed to be multifaceted and not have like
not have one thing be their entire personality.
Yes,
and, like,
literally
aspect of their character. They can
That's, oh my gosh, I feel like that's the thing that I hate the most, where I'm like, people like characters can be multifaceted. Like there can be more to someone than just one singular trait. It's like you can have,
especially when it comes to queer characters.
Yes.
In mainstream media, more like media. If there's like a queer character, like that's
their whole
entire personality. Like that's the only thing they give them, and there's nothing else.
There's nothing else. Yeah. God. It's like yeah.
It's me. I make it be my only personality.
It's actually they're just me. It's me. It's just
I'm
me.
autistic and nothing else.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Oh my lord. I've got my 2 recs. Well, these ones are the only physical recs I have. I think I sent you both a bunch of the ones I was reading while I was sick / on vacation.
Okay.
But these 2 that I have, this one comes with heavy content warnings and trigger warnings. Boy Meets Maria, which is honestly I wish it was longer. I wish that I had more. It's a single volume, like I guess story, and it's about like this boy basically like wants to become an actor, and he enters high school, joins the drama club, and then he meets this like beautiful woman, who then you find out is actually not a woman and is somewhere in between, like is like, you know, assigned male at birth, and then kind of was like became a lot more feminine as like he grew up, but then doesn't want to be either, and it's like trying to have like, you just kind of see like their journey of like figuring out where they want to be in between, because they've always been perceived like one way or the other. It's never been like allowed to be in between, and it's was honestly really good. I wish there was more depth to it, but heavy content warnings, especially for sexual assault in this, but is very good and very lovely. Did make me cry. I bawled my eyes out like a baby, if you could believe that. If you could believe that. I've cried.
Crying?
Everyone's get crying at media?
Unreal.
And then this one I sent to people. This one is, I think I sent this one to y'all. But this is This Wonderful Season with You. This one really got me too. I think I also cried because it's so cute. But it's just about like these two, I'm like trying to keep them all like straight in my brain in terms of like which one is what.
Why would you keep them straight?
I'm keeping them all gay in my brain. Ayo. I think these two are childhood friends, and it's like them kind of like coming together, and then, you know, their friendship growing beyond.
Something about childhood friends to lovers.
Yeah.
God, it's so good. It's so good.
It's so good.
In the feels.
Honestly. There's another one that is currently ongoing. So these two are both one-offs. They're very like easy and simple. Like a pretty good, although I think This Wonderful Season with You is rated M, but only for the last chapter, so I guess take that as you will. I wasn't expecting that because it did not come wrapped. And I remember I got to the end and I was like, oh my god. Hello. What's going on here? Heyo. I have to pull up my Kindle app for the rest of them that I've been reading.
Kindle app.
Kindle. Oh, this is one that I really liked. It was really good. It's called Our Dining Table. I think I sent this one to y'all.
Yes. Yeah, I want to get that one.
This,
because it looks really cute.
Genuinely was so cute. It was a really easy read too, which I love. I'm like, sometimes I love when they're just like a little one-off. They're little like one and done. I'm like, whoo boy, this is great. But so this one, Our Dining Table, is about a character who really struggles like eating around other people and like being at the dinner table with other people. And he like just like works like a general like corporate job. Like nothing like too, and he's just like always, his coworkers are always going out for lunch, and he's like, I don't want to go with you or whatever. But then he runs in to this kid and his older brother. And the kid is like basically like steals his lunch from him or whatever and like eats it. And then his older brother obviously is like, oh my god, I'm so sorry about him. And then, you know, they try to like make amends, and it's just this like story of them getting to know each other while also like kind of raising this kid, because their parent is like, they have a dad and just, he's super busy or whatever, he's not around. And it is so sweet and wholesome. And there's like this one, there's like not, I guess there is a little bit of trauma, but it's like not the main focus. It's kind of like, here's a sprinkle of trauma, okay, cool. Everything else about it is like so wholesome and so cute. And the kid is like,
I love queer like family mangas a lot. Like whether it be like parent or like this like the sibling situation like you're talking about. I love it because it's like I don't know.
It just makes me. I feel like because it's something that's not often depicted. I feel like a lot of times with like queer media, it's like you get the beginning of the relationship, you don't get the middle or the end. You get them like coming together. You don't get them like living their lives as like adults with their family and like moving on beyond that. Like if anything, you get like a chapter. You get like an epilogue. And that's it. That's what I feel like we need more of in like queer representation, is just like
we need queer people growing up.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Oh, that's something that I feel like is really like I feel like I struggle with a lot too is like, even whenever I'm looking at like recommendations that people have, they're always high school.
High school. Mm-hmm.
And I have a few of like adult ones now, which is really nice. But it's just like we get it that you know, being queer is really hard, but like please show queer people that like there is a like there's a life for them after high school. Like, there's a life for them after coming out, after figuring things out. Like there is more to things after that. Like I find it so like disheartening sometimes. So I'm just like, oh, there's no like queer media representation of people like my age or people with like a family. Like now I think obviously we're getting better, but there's still a long way to go.
Absolutely.
But I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Whenever I'm looking up like mangas to read, like I'll read mostly like things that pop up, but like if I'm feeling very particular, I'm just like, okay, it's gotta be, I gotta look up office worker, parent, like I've gotta be so specific because I'm sitting here and I'm like, listen, I again, I've been out as trans for over 12 years, been just openly queer in general my entire life. So it's like when I read the high school stuff, I can, because I'm just like, like this is stuff that I went through and like I experienced a lot of this. But where now I'm about to be 25 and I'm just like, God, it's like I'll get like maybe a 19-year-old and I'm like, can I give me more 40-year-old gay people?
Yes.
Give me the midlife crisis gay people.
Oh my God, yes. Red Fence.
Read one comic where one character was 40 and the other was 30, and I'm like, this is it.
Oh my God, yes.
Where is the angry old gay couple? They meet at a coffee shop with because they actually both ordered black coffee.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
Yes.
More people in their 30s, please, like me.
Please, it's genuinely. Oh my God, yes. Because I'm like, like this wonderful like this is about high school. Boy Meets Marie is about high school, and like some of the other ones.
She loves to cook, she loves to eat is office workers.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I don't know how old exactly they are, but I'm assuming mid-20s because I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, the two other series that I've read recently are also adults, and I'm like, oh my gosh, please. This one I'm waiting for I'm waiting for the 4th volume. I thought it was a completed series, and then it turned out it was not a completed series, and I am so sad. I want more. But this one I think I also talked about was Our Not So Lonely Planet Travel Guide, which I feel like we're just getting to there's 3 volumes out right now. The 4th one is slated for publication, as far as I'm aware. And I think it's gonna be releasing like later this year. But I feel like we're like just getting to the like meat and bones of the story, which is really fascinating to me because I'm like, I feel like we don't know a lot about the character. Like we know, but like the whole premise of this is there's 2 characters and you kind of like the series starts out and they're boarding a plane. And you find out that they're going to be going on like a trip around the world with each other, and you don't really know the relationship, but then you find out, I guess, spoiler alert, that they are together. But like, you don't really know like a lot of the premise of them being together. You kind of just like you kind of know that like, okay, their only goal is if they survive this trip around the world with each other, they're getting married when they go back home. Which I find such a fascinating concept. I don't know why, but I'm like, oh, I like this. This is very good. But then they kind of like, you start learning a little bit more about them and that like they're not necessarily fully out as like a couple yet. And that's the whole thing that they're navigating together. And they literally, it's genuinely been such a fascinating read because they're traveling around the world. And I'm assuming like the author does extensive research because the amount of stuff like you learn about like each place they go to, you learn about like the history of it, you learn about the food that they're going to eat and like the customs, and it's been such a lovely read. And just like it's not like them being gay and being together, like them being together is more of like a plot point than them like their sexualities in of itself. It's kind of just like, yeah, that's kind of just what it is. But here also look at all this food that they're eating and like look at all of this like fun that they're having and all of that. And there's definitely some more I feel like some more good stuff to come, and I'm very excited. I think they're going off to like Canada next. I'll write the name in the chat, but it's Our Not So Lonely Planet travel guide. But they've gone to places. I think they went to Spain. They were in India for a little while as well. I believe they went to like Morocco, I want to say. They went to the Netherlands. They were in, I think the most recent one, they went to the UK. But it's like them like just having like it's them exploring the world, and it's so cute. And also they're adults, which I love. I just oh my gosh. Hold on, let me finish writing this one in chat. There we go. Also, Lav, welcome in. I hope you're doing well. There's that one. And then I feel like there's one more I wanted to talk about rec-wise that I read recently. Oh, I don't remember what it was. Oh, this one was recommended to me. I don't remember if it was on our last stream or if it was just like in the, you know, thousands of recommendation videos I watched. Who knows? But this one's called Restart After Coming Back Home. Also about adults. Love it. Honestly, love it. 10 out of 10. Give me more adult queers in media, please. But this one is about somebody who he gets fired from his job in the city and he comes back to his hometown to find out that his like childhood neighbor had adopted someone like very shortly after he had left. And it's about them like coming together and becoming like their friends and them navigating what being like together means for them and like what their relationship is. And this one I really liked because a lot of like the story centered around like how they didn't really like touch on their sexuality at all. It was kind of just like they were like, we don't really know. We just know that I like spending time with this person. I want to spend time with this person. I don't know what capacity that is going to be in. And like in the end, it's like there's one like scene where the main character kind of is just like, even if you don't feel the same way, like I need to have you in my life in some capacity because like I don't know how to exist without you. And I'm like, I don't know what it is about this like specific story, but it was like so touching and like.
What was the name again of this one?
This one's Restart After Coming Back Home. And then there's also a sequel called Restart After Growing Hungry. Hold on, I'll write them in the chat as well. But also it's like, oh god, I can't write. I just said vomiting instead of coming. There we go.
Oh yeah, this one. I remember you telling me about this one.
Really sweet and very like this is always my issues because I feel like I find a lot of like LGBTQIA plus like one-offs and I'm like, I need more. I need a series.
I prefer a good one-off because
I like the one-offs. I do.
Yeah, I'll like
but sometimes I crave more.
Or like, yeah, I prefer one-offs though.
I feel
like
like
it has like 4 volumes.
They're usually super predictable too, because it's like 1 through 3 is the build-up, 4 is when something bad happens, 5 is when they reconcile, 6 is the finale.
Yeah, that is fair.
Yeah.
I love it because my brain is like,
it's like
yes,
I like knowing that it's happening though.
I don't know what's gonna happen, but I know what's gonna happen. And
yeah,
it's
exactly.
So good for my little ADHD autism brain.
That's so fair. I just sometimes I wish that like I find myself occasionally with one-offs, just like wanting a little bit more like fleshed out like storyline, because sometimes I feel like I have a little bit of an issue when things jump around too much. Like I enjoy like slice of life anime and stuff like that, but I'm like sometimes when there's not like really that much of a through line, like I struggle and I'm like I always want more than that. I want more. And so I feel like especially with like our dining table, I was like I wanted like, you know, I just wanted a few more chapters. I just wanted some more. I just wanted to see them be happy some more, you know?
No, because that happens so often. Because I do mostly read like 6 chapters, like more often than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll like have the finale, and I'm just like, now I gotta go find another one. And like, I'll get stuck in a cycle of reading like the same trope because I'm like, I need more. I need something different but the same.
That's how I always end up reading fan fiction, which like it doesn't really exist for like smaller stuff. I feel like I guess like more like one-offs and stuff. But I'm like normally if I finish a piece of media and I'm like, but I need more. I'm always like, okay, it's time to bust out the trusty AO3. Let's go.
I have not read a fanfic in so long, dude.
Oh, that's what
me either.
I would never do something like that. Yeah, whoa.
No, listen,
Closes my eyes.
Listen, I just want to say, I usually read like 7 one-offs in a night, so I'm right there with you guys. I just like the little pictures.
I'm like me
Yeah,
closes
no.
87 tabs of fan fiction I have open on my phone right now.
It takes
Same,
a
you with
lot
my
for
manga.
me. Because that's how I am. It's like I always like read manga at night, but it takes a lot for me to read fanfics when I find like a new like ship that I really enjoy. Like if I'm down bad when I read fanfic for it. So I've been
Yeah,
obsessively
that is
reading
fair.
fanfic lately because these two just got me in their clutches.
Yeah, who's that? What's that about? Momo? Don't worry about
Nobody
it.
in particular.
Not like I
Nobody in
called it or
particular.
anything. Not like I knew.
Yeah, not like any characters from Genshin Impact or anything that are so queer. They're so
Talk
literally
about
in
the
love, it's
queerness in
canon.
Genshin Impact is actually so
They're
real, though.
literally, it's so real. There are so many queer people in Genshin Impact.
And nobody
People are
wants to
like,
see it.
Nobody wants to see it, but
Nobody
I'm like,
wants to
it's
see it.
literally in your face.
It's literally right there. More
It's
Arrow Ace
literally right there.
representation. I definitely feel that. I can definitely see that, Zach. I feel like that's something that's not like. I mean, there's already so much. What is it like? What's the term for it? The phobia term for it. Is it just
No
my
idea what you're
brain?
talking
My
about.
brain's broken. Well, people just like a lot of like. There's a lot of internalized like issues too with like the LGBTQIA plus community not accepting like Arrow and Ace people into the community.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
is it aphobia? That's what it's. I think it's acephobia, aerophobia. Yes, I was like, for some reason, this didn't sound correct to me in my brain. I don't know why. The brain. Listen, it's student's best right now. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of times, I just feel like hold on. Sorry, I had to message you. A lot of times I feel like that's something that we definitely need more of, because I mean there's even people in like within the queer community that can I type oh, there we go. Wait, no, that's the wrong. There you go. Sorry, chat. Yeah, if that works for you, that works for me. But I feel like that's something we need more of, mostly just because like people in the queer community itself are like, that's not real, that's not a real thing, that's not part of the community or whatever, and it's like, yes it is.
What does the A stand for? What is
Ally!
what is the A
Slash J.
Does it the A stand for ally?
Please. Honestly.
I use the LGBT tag on Twitch because I'm an
ally.
Don't do that. If you're in chat and you're an ally, stop.
There's
Stop it.
literally an ally,
An ally
tag.
tag.
Stop it. Don't use the LGBT tag.
Please don't. Just, oh gosh. But yeah, I feel like there definitely needs to be just like more, I mean, we need more representation in general. Because something that I was like thinking about talking about earlier was like talking about like the type of representation I feel like we need most. But when I think about it, I'm like, genuinely, it's just more. Like, I want queer stories of like, you know, I do want some of the queer stories that have like not so like, I guess like happy endings or whatever. Like I still enjoy having angst and like having like difficulties and turmoil and like trauma in my stories, but like that's not all it needs to be. I'm like, we need genuinely more of everything, because like, I mean, queer people are just as like, you know, we have just as much depth as like anyone else and like any other media. Like you get to have happy stories about like, you know, straight people living their best life, but then also you get the trauma stories of straight people and their relationships, and it's like, why can't queer people have that? And why does it always have to be like one type? Like why is it always a barrier gaze trope and never like, you know, I feel like before Heartstopper specifically, like there was never really like,
I just don't want to watch it.
I
still haven't watched
honestly
it.
so
Video.
I remember reading the like webtoon back like I don't even know when, and just being like, oh my gosh. And just like being so happy that I was like, wow, like these two little high school guys, they're just like living their like, they're just doing their best, and like they get to just be like gay and happy, and I feel like the like relationship that they have specifically with each other is like so genuinely so incredible, and it's like so supportive, which I feel like sometimes you don't really see that. A lot of times it's like, oh, the first sign of like an issue, it's like, oh, the, you know, it's gonna like their relationship's gonna disintegrate into whatever, but it's like no, like it's so oh gosh. I'm literally gonna cry. I love it so much.
No.
It's just so
There's
good.
Another show that I remembered. It's not like straight up queer.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But like
It's
have
gay up
queer characters. There's a show on Amazon Prime called Carnival Row.
Yeah.
Which I talk about a lot. I feel like nobody talks about Carnival Row.
I've never heard of it.
It's so good. It has Orlando Bloom in it. Anyway,
Legolas.
and it's also
sorry.
like got like fae folk, and it's kind of like a combination of like a fairy like fantasy type thing, but also like Sherlock Holmesy. And like that kind of, it's really cool. It's really great. But it ends. It has a happy ending after it's 2 seasons. It has a happy ending.
Oh my god, it has a real ending. That's like
it has a real ending.
That's so hard to get nowadays.
And there's slight spoiler alert. I don't know how many people are gonna watch this, but one of the things. It just ends. One of the parts of the ending is very queer, and was not really expecting it, and it was so good. But it has a happy ending.
I love that. Genuinely. Like a
happy queer ending.
And it's
even though the show isn't like straight up like a queer show.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. It has like happy queer ending.
Listen, it didn't get canceled, and I think that's a win. At this point, that's what I feel like I need.
Yeah.
Is shows to like
really
queer shows to not get
like,
canceled.
But it's just very good. Because I mean it's very
I will watch it with you.
Intense.
I know you want to.
I'm telling you.
Okay, well, hang out with me. I don't know. Listen, a little group watch.
It was really good. I think the first season's like 10 episodes are like an hour long, and then the second season's the same. I think so. It's like
I'll 20. Do it for you.
Yeah. No, it's really good. It's one of those. It's like a lot of build up.
Yeah.
And stuff, but yeah, there are just like, it's good though.
I just honestly like I genuinely just kind of wish that we had more queer rep. What is this called? Oh, this one's Carnival Row.
Carnival Row.
Yeah.
It's a mature show.
Yeah.
But I thought about that because I just remembered I was just not expecting the ending. It was just out of that show, like I would not have thought that it would have ended happy. I'll be honest.
I was gonna say I'm looking at the poster now.
Happy ending.
It doesn't.
There was a happy ending.
It's not giving a happy show from what at least the visuals.
It is not a happy show at all.
You get a happy ending.
You
know
get
what?
A happy
I like
ending.
that. I like that.
So,
I like that. I just feel like, listen, a show that actually has an ending, is really all I need.
Yeah. Yeah, something with an ending.
But a lot of the times because I'm like thinking about like other like queer rep that was for me, and Sense8 I think about so often.
I forgot about that show.
Sense8.
I had like
being canceled.
Who like was super into that show. I almost forgot about that.
Yeah. But sorry, hold on. I'm like genuinely Sense8 being canceled is like one of the worst things that has ever happened to me. I remember watching it. I loved it. It was so good, genuinely so good. And then like it's just canceled it. And then wasn't there another? Was it what Killing Eve? I think was one as well. There was another. I feel like a lesbian like show. Specifically, I don't remember what. Yeah, I don't remember what it was. I think it was Killing Eve was supposed to be. It was a show about lesbians, and then they canceled it as well. And I'm like, why? I'm terrified that I know Heartstopper is getting its second season. It's getting another one. Did I get canceled? Oh, First Kill, I think is the one I'm thinking about. Lizzie, yeah, thank you.
Oh, yes.
I was like, because Killing Eve is like another show too.
Yeah,
I think.
it was vampires. So it's like one girl's a vampire and the other one's like a vampire hunter or something like that. Because I remember I saw like the trailer for it. I didn't actually watch it yet.
Yeah. Although
I
I
don't know if
heard
wanna watch it
not
because I know it got
great.
canceled.
I heard not
But,
great
see-
things about First Kill, which I'm like,
Yeah.
honestly, not everything has to be
It's-
like stellar representation. At least for me, I'm like,
Yeah, because a lot of people were like, they're like, okay, but at least like, you know, we finally got like a lesbian show.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't that great, people were still excited about it and watched it anyway, and then
Yeah.
of course it got canceled. So
shows getting canceled, I think, will be what turns me into the Joker. You know, I'm thinking about
Yeah.
some
You know
other.
what
I
turns me
can't.
into the Joker is unfinished mangas.
Oh,
real.
that is so.
real.
Searching for a nice little gay romance manga, and it's like, oh, this one's ongoing. And the last update is like 2017, and you're like,
That
oh,
is-
okay,
That's my Joker moment.
yeah.
Because there was another one. I feel like this one was. I kind of vaguely remember it being queer, but I don't know if it actually is. Hold on. Is this what it is? No, this is not what I'm thinking. Hold on. It was a Netflix show. It was one season. There was supposed to be season 2, and then they canceled it. And it was like based off a comic book. I need to figure it out. I need to figure out what it is. I'm like, it's gonna bother me until I don't. It's not the end of the F word world. Not that one. There's another one that was like similar, where it was like high school, and I think that there was queer representation in it, and I was so excited for season 2 because it was like, you know, one of the only like in oh, what is it? Need to rewatch Sense8, to be honest. Oh my gosh, literally. I can't figure out what the name of this is. It's not I'm Thinking of Ending Things. It's something long though. It's like a longer. I'm not okay with this. That's what it is. That's what it is. I was like, it has a really long title and it starts with I'm, and I can't remember what it is. But that was also another one that was really good, and then it got canceled. And I was so sad.
But Grey's Anatomy has how many seasons? Anyway.
I
Is
don't
Grey's Anatomy
don't
still going on?
talk to me. Yeah. And I will listen. V's a big Grey's Anatomy's fan, but also not all. Like only some seasons, I think. But yeah. Hold on. Can I? Okay. I think that should be fine. Thanks, Momo. I'm gonna do something really quick, y'all. If you two are okay with taking over the convo.
Mm-hmm.
I am ordering food right now. I am so sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Hold on, let me form a thought, chat room. Ooh. I'm trying to remember some other shows that I wanted to talk about. Or like
no.
books and stuff.
One Piece for white woman. I'm crying.
What?
One Piece for white women.
Oh my god, stop.
Amazing. No, I am very like I don't know a lot of queer media, honestly. I do a lot. No, you know what? You know some queer neurodivergent media. Bob's Burgers.
Oh my
Bob's
god.
Burgers.
Yeah, fair.
Yes.
An incredible show. Listen,
Yes,
I'm
they
a
also
Bob's
just
Burgers
confirmed-
stan.
They just confirmed that Marshmallow is trans, by the way. So that got
Wait,
confirmed
I don't-
recently. Yeah,
I don't know
remember
enough
who it
about
was.
Bob's
that.
Burgers. Hold on.
Bob's Burgers is
Marshmallow's
incredible.
amazing.
That whole family is neurodivergent, like
And
they're-
queer.
it's just-
And queer.
and it's so good.
It's
I'm-
so good.
like- It's a great show. Highly recommend if you've
I-
never watched Bob's Burgers.
I've only seen
So
parts
queer.
of it. Wait, Bob's Burger. I'm going to look. Oh, hello.
Did
I
you
love
just look up Marshmallow?
Yeah.
I love Marshmallow. Yeah, they were
sad.
talking about when they talked about it. They were like, I was very ignorant when we brought this character onto the show, and then like talked about how like they learned more as time went on, confirmed that she's trans. It was really awesome.
That's
I
like
saw that very recently.
so fascinating.
Yeah, because how Marshmallow came around was Bob was driving around a taxi after like the burger shop closed because he was trying to get money for Tina's birthday party. So he started driving around like a bunch of drag queens and as such. And the episode itself doesn't use great like terms or anything. One second, sorry.
No, you're all good. You're all good.
Doesn't use great terms or anything, but it like you can tell as the show goes, it grows.
Yeah.
But that's how Marshmallow came into the scene.
I genuinely love that too. Like, I love, like, also acknowledging, like, hey, maybe this isn't, like, the most, like, the best thing, like, in terms of, like, how it started, but then, like, learning from that and growing. Oh!
Yeah. And
10
I feel
out
like
of
that
10.
was also, like, one of the, I don't know, it's hard to tell if that was, like, one of the points of the
Yeah.
episode where they're, like, maybe not using the best terms because it comes from a place of like not knowing or understanding.
Yeah.
It was definitely ignorance and
Yeah.
not hate because like they even get invited to the birthday party. Like they talk about how great Bob is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because there's one scene where, or there's a particular episode where Linda thinks she's psychic and like says something about like somebody is gonna like walk through the door that's like tall, dark, and handsome, and then Marshmallow comes in. She's like, "Oh my god, tall, dark, and handsome," and Bob's like, "Marshmallow's not handsome. She's beautiful."
Yeah, something like that.
Like yeah, like something like that, and it's like, oh.
I love that. I definitely am not like, you know, caught up on the Bob's Burgers lore, I'll have to say it. But now I need to know more. I need to know more.
I love Bob's Burgers.
I love that. I love the photos that I'm seeing right now. Like,
I will sit and watch Bob's Burgers with you.
I've seen like
it's my comfort show. I'll watch it all the time.
I say it's one of those shows that like I've definitely like I've seen a lot of, but I feel like I've never sat down and like watched through it. I've watched it whenever
me and the spouse just caught up. Like we've been like every time we eat dinner, we like
might be a few episodes
and like
behind.
watch an episode. So I think we just caught up like.
I have
I
literally.
think there's a new season like right now airing. So
yeah, I have watched literally the entirety of Bob's Burgers. I cannot tell you how many times. But the newest season, I might be like a few episodes behind. It says I'm on episode 11 of. So, oh no, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one.
Plus, I also feel like it's one of those. It's like one of those like cartoons or like animations that's like more like geared towards like adults and stuff, but it's one of the few ones that has a good representation of family.
Yeah,
like has a great family dynamic.
Yeah.
No,
like
God, I love that.
Other shows,
which are currently indefinitely paused, which is probably on account of the writer's strike. But at the same time, like, let's just hope they don't come back.
That's honestly, my child can name all Bob's Burgers character.
Yes, Jean, Louise, Tina, Bob, and Linda.
Stop! I love that Tina, Louise, and Jean are trans, and I can't be convinced otherwise.
Oh, and there's also an episode where they go to Bob's dad's for like Christmas.
Yeah.
And one of his dad's like best friends is just like is a gay man and has a gay bar that his dad like goes to. And they have like a night where they watch. What is the show that they like watch?
I genuinely don't remember because all I can think about is how they're trying to have their talk while they're like square dancing or something.
I say the reason why I say boot scooting all the time is because of that episode. Just boot scoot.
The lore comes
his
out.
Dad's friend owns.
Bob is
like
also
a gay,
bi.
like cowboy bar.
I did not know all this about Bob's Burgers. I'm learning so much.
It is literally queer and neurodivergent representation. I love it.
Oh.
I'm learning so many things.
Same.
I mean, I was never against it, but I was
the Thanksgiving episode.
Yep.
Where like he keeps going to like buy the turkey because the turkey's getting like ruined, and so the guy at the deli counter thinks that Bob is like hitting on him and is like into him, and so he finally goes and he's like, all right, let's just do it. He's like, I'm married, and he's like, you could find somebody better than me, like.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But it's also like being like, oh, like not like not being like, oh, I'm not gay, just like saying other excuses, you know,
like
kinda.
I'm not your type or something like that.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like there's like a tiny mini monologue and I love it.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
it's really good.
I
Just
love
like
that so
a
much.
mini, like I think it's like a mini gay panic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Being like, wait a
exactly.
minute, like
Me every day in my
Anyway.
life.
not for
Literally
me, it's not even mini.
Yeah, just me full
Yeah.
on. You playing Resident Evil 4 and I'm
Full
sitting
on.
there and I'm like, hello, 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 hello.
Yeah.
Everything.
Hello.
Oh,
Being
Yeah.
bisexual is really hard.
It really is.
It's real hard.
it's a hard life. Too many people are too attractive.
So many.
So
people.
real. So real.
Fictional and real.
Yeah. I don't know if either of you have any last thoughts you would like to touch on, or if you would like
Read
to call it.
Chainsaw Man.
Read Chainsaw Man.
Wait,
there's
Chainsaw
a
Man!
lesbian polycule in
Is
it.
a canon lesbian polycule
What more could you
in
want?
Chainsaw Man.
What more could you
What
want?
more truly could you want?
Literally.
And Aki and Angel. Their dynamic between them, like you cannot convince me that
They
there's
have
not something going on.
there's something.
All right,
There's feelings in
There's
some
a
way, shape, or
spark.
form. A spark.
they at least care for each other in a way.
Yeah.
Just
It's so good. Read Tokyo Revengers too. That one, that's a queer subtext party for you. That's, listen, a lot of things are explicitly stated, but it is fruity, to say the least.
Fruity.
Is
You
it
want
fruity
more
to
fruity? Play Genshin Impact.
even, yeah.
But also don't play it.
Don't save
do it.
yourself.
Save yourself.
Yeah.
But also
Good Omens. I've heard about Good Omens, but I never have read / watched, because it got a show, right?
Yes.
Never.
With David Tennant.
Yeah.
and
Who?
what's his name?
I'm gonna be honest, I can't
I
look
don't
at David
remember.
Tennant and not think about
Bilbo
Doctor
Baggins.
Who. Martin
That
Freeman?
sounds like a you problem.
Is that
I
him?
know.
It's not Martin Freeman. What?
You said
The other
Bilbo
guy, isn't that him?
Baggins. Bilbo Baggins is Martin Freeman.
That's him, right?
Yeah, he's Bilbo Baggins.
Is he in Good Omens?
Isn't he getting Good Omens?
Is he? I don't know. I never watched it.
I haven't either. Does
I've
anybody
seen
know?
so many images and stuff.
Michael
There's two of
Sheen.
them.
Does Michael Sheen look like...
No,
Wait. Michael Sheen.
it's not Martin Freeman.
Everyone's telling me Michael Sheen. What does Michael Sheen look like?
It's Michael Sheen. I'm sitting
Okay.
here like I've seen
I got him-
pictures.
I got
That is
him
not-
mixed
He's Bilbo Baggins adjacent, I would say.
Well, I gotta go. Thanks for having me.
No, you're so fair. All right, one more. We gotta tell me where I can find you and what you give me all of that good stuff.
Find me on everything Momo Misfortune. I stream on Twitch Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, playing The Sims 4. And it's very gay.
Sims.
Also a little bit of horror games. We'll play Resi Evil 4 remake.
Are you Resident Evil, yeah?
I'm in my Resi Evil era.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
You can find me everywhere at Vine Hellebore. I stream every day except Wednesday, and what's the other day I don't stream? Sunday. I'm working on changing my schedule, so I don't know when that'll happen. But yeah.
Yeah! Thank you both so much for being here with me and
Thank you
being
for
along for
Thanks
this
for having us.
silly little ride of talking absolute nonsense for
Yeah.
2.5 hours.
I love talking nonsense.
I love
Me
to talk
too.
nonsense.
Gay nonsense.
Yay, nonsense.
Love the gay nonsense. I appreciate you both so much thank you. I'm gonna leave the call and I'm sure I will chat with you all later.
Bye.
Goodbye, friends.
Bye.
All right, I'm gonna go here. There we go. Chat room. We're gonna just chat we're gonna talk, and I'm gonna talk more with y'all specifically about your recommendations and things like that, because I need more recommendations of what to watch. Literally anything. Or read. Okay, wait, there was something that I forgot to mention. A book that I read recently. That I think I talked about this on my own stream. Which I guess if you are maybe new, if y'all are maybe new and don't know me specifically, I'm Emrys K. My pronouns are they, he. I also am a variety streamer over on Twitch. Owl House with me? I would love to, genuinely. I've heard really good things about it, and I know there's a non-binary character in Owl House, I believe I think. I'm not up to date on the lore, you know, but I've heard really good things about Owl House. I also feel like, I mean, I haven't seen like Adventure Time or Steven Universe, and I feel like those are always recommended as well. Non-binary character, lesbians, all kinds of gays. Oh, genuinely, I love that so much. I'd be down to do it. Hasn't started yet. Yeah, I have quite the list of things that I tend to read, like, because I don't know. Like I was saying earlier today, like I don't often like read or watch media without some sort of like representation in it. And so I'm always looking for more. Love Steven Universe, halfway watching it together. Oh, I love that so much. Because is there a non-binary character in Steven Universe? Is that what it is? I don't entirely know much about it. I do listen to some of the soundtrack occasionally because I feel like that those always find their way onto my playlist that I'm listening to. But yeah. Highly recommend the Owl House. I'll have to check it out. Cassandra, I would love to. I know you like really enjoy it, so. Do you love Steven Universe too? It's true. I like that. Something that I wanted, another like rec I want. This one's a book, so I guess if you're into novels and things like that, which is this like maybe just a me perception? But I feel like I often find it easier to find more written media that have like queer representation in it rather than like shows and stuff. And I guess maybe that is just like the budget that has to go into it, because like you can write something essentially for free. Like, you know, obviously there's costs and there's time and there's like, you know, there's like a bigots. It's because bigots can't read. I mean, what? You're so right. Are you gay? I would consider myself gay. Yes, I would. I identify as bisexual, but often do just use the term gay for myself. Gay people are real. Yeah, it's true. They are real. But yeah, I feel like I always end up like wanting to, I don't know, I find it always a lot easier to like find, and I guess that mostly just goes into like monetary constraints, because like for a show or something to get made, it has to be like, you know, you have to go through it, you have to have a budget, you have to have other people to be a part into it. How much genders are, I don't know if that's a question that I have an answer to, because there are a multitude, many as anyone could ever think of, infinite, if you will. I'm not all knowing. I can't even count past 10. I'm just saying, I think infinite seems correct. I can't count past 10, let alone, you know, go down the list. But yeah, the one book I wanted to talk about, you've got one more question that you could just use Google for. At least a gallon of gender, I would say. I genuinely would. I'm gonna get this book recommendation out before I forget again, because I want other people to read it so we can talk about it. I want to talk about it with other people. Where is it? Oh, here it is. It's in my trusty Kindle app. Where is this at? Oh my gosh, not this the lo-fi that's playing. Okay, here we go. Wait, no, that's not the actual one. Here it is. Tell me the book. I'm telling you the book. I'm going to find it. I'm gonna try and scroll back to the beginning so I can like properly talk about it. So it's called Like Real People Do. It's by E.L. Massey. But it genuinely is one of the sweetest and most wholesome books I've ever read. Hold on, let me get I'm gonna write it in chat so people know. Like Real People Do. So this one, if you like sports, if you like queer sports media, which personally for me, it's a bit of a guilty pleasure. I love I love like specifically queer sports media. I find it so like that's that very specific genre. It does have a sequel. The sequel is I haven't read the sequel yet, and I'm very excited to. The sequel, what's the sequel called? I have it. Oh, Like You've Nothing Left to Prove is the sequel. And it's I haven't read the sequel yet. I'm very excited because my only complaint is at the end of the first book kind of just like it just kind of happens. It's just kind of there. And I'm like, I wish there was like a little bit more kind of build up, I guess. It felt very weird from just like more of like a writing and like a reading standpoint than like an actual like plot point. I don't know. But it's really lovely. It's about a hockey, like a professional hockey captain. He's like the youngest captain in the league. He's like, I had like 23 or something like that. I don't know. Like an adult, but like young. Recommend watching Mina Reads on YouTube. She has a lot of queer books. Ooh, oh my god, no, that's totally a lot. I always will also take people that have book recommendations. Like I don't go like far into like book talk because I find book talk to be very like frustrating to me. Yeah, this is all about recommendations. Like literally give me anything. And so I always love trying to find people who are kind of outside of the very typical book talk recommendations because as much as I love TikTok and I think it's a really great platform for, you know, finding that queer community and like finding like your niche and enjoying like content from a niche that like you might enjoy. I find a lot of the mainstream area, especially like specifically with like the book side of TikTok, is very, very just like I don't know how to describe it because I don't want to be mean because I know some people do enjoy things like that. Rex have a lot of adult FYI, perfect. But I feel like book talk just in general sometimes like it's just not. They aren't it's pretentious. It's pretentious and they think that their taste of book is the only taste that is allowed, and often they're not queer. Often they're not queer. They're just like another straight romance. Like, if you know me, you know my thoughts and feelings on Colleen Hoover and how they're not good. But that's like the style of book that book talk likes, where I'm like, where is the queer side of this? Where we're talking about like, you know, even if they're just like really lighthearted, there's no stakes in this, in Like You've Nothing Left to Prove. Or like real people do. There's no like there's stakes, but the stakes are so low. The stakes are just so low, and like it's literally about like two people finding happiness together and finding like real genuine like comfort in another person, which I love that. Oh, I love that. And what is it? Like Real People Do has a lot of other really good representation. There's disabled representation. The main character has like seizures like often, and I think has like I think it's like heat induced seizures. There goes into like, hold on, it goes into the goes into it a little bit more in the, let me find, there's a content warning. So it deals with depictions and discussion of epileptic seizures and social anxiety disorder. And genuinely, like, this is one of the most real, like, social anxiety disorder, like, depictions that I've ever seen. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I like reviewers who are passionate, enthusiastic about whatever it is they like and not pretentious. Yes. I feel like there's like bits of that on TikTok, obviously. Like there's always, it's not just like, you know, I'm generalizing really. But like, I need more of that. I need that to be the mainstream and not the other way around, where we're like, you know, I like book talk where they just read snippets of absurd novels. Yes. Like things that should have never been published. Oh my God, yes. Reading The Darker Shade of Magic. Is that by V.E. Schwab? Is that series? I've been recommended that one before. I've heard really good things about it. One other like really good book recommendation. I haven't read this one personally, and I know it's a bit of a high fantasy. It's dense. It's a huge book. Is Priory of the Orange Tree. I've heard just nothing but good things about it. And I think it has a sequel now. As far as I'm aware, I think there's a sequel. And by V. Schwab, and it's been good so far. Hell yeah, I like that. I haven't read it yet. I haven't read anything. I know. This is such a silly little thing, but genuinely the only time I'm ever reading is like if I'm on vacation, which is such a like, I don't know why I'm like that. I think it's because I know that when I'm on vacation, I can pour myself into a novel and I can not worry about like missing my things. A new manga. Oh, the one that you were sending in the group chat. Yeah, I'm excited for you to read that because I want to know if it's good. But I know that like I'm very much like I will sink myself into a novel for like hours on end and you will not see me. I will be gone. And so I find that I just like don't do it as often because I know that's gonna happen. And sometimes I have responsibilities. And I can't just be constantly reading things all the time. I've gotten better by like getting stuff on my like phone or my Kindle, and I'll read before I go to bed. But even sometimes that's a toss-up because I'll be awake at 5 a.m. reading still. And then I'm tired the next day. Based on a violin. I think there's a trans character in it, but it's been a while. Oh, I don't know if I know that one. Or at least like off of the description. I don't know off the top of my head. But yeah, I don't know. I'm like find it so fascinating. I'm excited to read the sequel to Like What People Do though. Because I really enjoy it. It's like it seems like everything like there's a lot of representation in it, and it's just like the representation is all just very like it doesn't feel like that's the whole point, you know? They're kind of just there. It's just kind of a thing like the one character that has like epilepsy and like has like the seizure, like it's a point, it's like that's part of his character, but it's not his whole character, which is really fascinating. And the amount of other gay people in this book, it's not just the main characters. There's more, which I love. Like there's there's a subplot with these two other characters and you're like, are they gonna get together? And you kind of like are seeing them get together through like the main character's perspective, which is so fascinating to me. And then there's also like a character in here who is straight and is married, but is like, there's multiple gay people in it. And there's somebody also in here that's like, they're bi, but they're in like a straight relationship. And I was like, I genuinely, and they talk about how like, yeah, I'm still like a bi person, even though I'm currently dating like a woman. Like it's so incredible. And I love how much they deep dive into just like different like queer I love it. I love it so much. I really do. So when I read the sequel, I'll let y'all know how it is. I'll let you know. I literally picked it up as like it was a one-off. Like I was like in the airport when I traveled last. I was in the airport and I was like sitting down and I was like, I know that I brought myself like 3 mangas in my backpack and I have like 7 mangas on my Kindle downloaded, ready to go. But what if I bought this book? And then I bought it and I read it. And it was very good. I did nothing but read. I was just like sitting at my gate, just like scrolling on my phone, like I had to keep closing my phone and like giggle into my hand, you know, being like, oh, it's so cute. It was great. It was fantastic. Very lovely. Which also, I mean, the last book I did that with, where I just kind of picked it up at an airport, which is for some reason where I decided to pick books up, was a book that was not great, that I ended up not liking at all. But that one was like, what is it? The like Atlas. I think I talked about it on my stream at one point, like the Atlas 6 or something like that. I don't know, but it was such a pretentious book. It felt so pretentious. I was like, why am I reading this? I feel like the author's looking down on me while I read this. I hated it. It felt very, I was like, this is a book not for me. Not for me. Oh boy. But I do really appreciate you all hanging out with me today and like chatting and hanging out. And just letting us talk and like hang out, taking notes to buy a book at the airport. It was one of those things where I'd also bought like a bunch of things with me and I was like, but what if I bought this one too? It was really like tugging at me. And I was like, yeah, I'll get this. I kind of like the cover. It looks cool. And I normally judge books by their cover. Toxic MRK trait right there. I will look at a book and I will be like, that looks good. That looks good. And then I will read it immediately. Sometimes it doesn't go well for me. That I honestly, that one book at the airport, the Atlas 6 or whatever it is, I think that's the only one that I've like picked up that I ended up not liking after I read it. I was like, it was fine. It wasn't like, I don't know. I didn't finish it, so I guess take that as you will. Take that as you will. But yeah, I really appreciate you all hanging out with me today. I'm probably gonna do a little bit of a slower wrap up, and then we'll find someone to send some love over to. But yeah, this is my last It Gets Better ambassador stream. So thank you so much to them for having me on, and also for extending my partnership, because I was having some scheduling issues with my guests and myself. And so I really appreciate them for allowing me to do this stream late. This one was supposed to happen at like the beginning of last month or something like that. And then here we are. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate all of you. It's the last. I'm honestly a little sad. I'm like, what am I gonna do like every other Friday or whatever my schedule was. Link is not canonically LGBT, but his ability to enrage the cis people makes him queer in my eyes. I kind of agree with you, Cassandra. I just think, I mean, like, that goes back to that point we were talking about, where like I just don't understand why it matters so much to people. Everything you've done for us. But you can't make me emotional. I'm a fragile little guy. I will cry on stream. We don't need that. We don't need the tears. We don't need the tears. But yeah, I also want to say thank you to Momo and Vine for being with me and allowing me. We went in with like a little bit of a rough. I was like, I have a rough idea of what I wanted to do, but I have been a little busy guy the past few days. And so I just, I was like, you know what, this is great. We can, we'll just go for it. And I was like, the three of us will be fine. We always need streamer tears. Do you need streamer tears? Listen, I cried, I think, what was it, like last night? I cried over my Sims having a baby on stream. I'm emotional, okay? The hormones are all over the place right now. I was very emotional. My Sims had a baby and I was like, oh my God. They're having a baby. Look how cute they are. They're starting their family. And I was, I'm still a little emotional about it when I think about it, if I'm being honest. Two favorite trans mask by headcanons, Link and Hal. I love that for you. I support you in that one. I feel like I have so many like trans and also just like relationship. Listen, I could do a whole stream on the queer subtext of this show, of this series back here of Tokyo Revengers. I don't know if you can tell that I like this series a lot. Probably, it could be maybe potentially a special interest. Who knows? I couldn't tell you. I don't know. But I feel like I could literally do like a whole like 3-hour stream of just me talking about this and being like, well, here's the queer subtext here. And also this. Don't even get me started about the on-screen kids. I guess it's not on screen. It's literally like in a manga panel, I guess. It's not on screen yet. But, an essay about why I think Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom Link is autistic. I would love it. I'd read it. Cassandra, I'd read anything you wrote. Specifically about that. But I get it. Look at him. He's just a little guy. But yeah, I'm gonna go see who's online that is a part of the stream team that we have. So I can send us some love. Also, I saw, Monte Carlo, I saw your hydration reminder and then didn't do it. Let me, best way to do this. Hopefully, is this gonna be muted? It is muted. Very good. I don't want to stop playing this. There we go. Hold on, my what is it? My browser's loading. Here we go. It Gets Better ambassadors. I'm gonna see who's all online right now to send some love over to. Oh. Ooh. I think we're gonna go here. Oh wait, maybe here. We're gonna rate somebody that I haven't rated before, that I haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet. And I think maybe he's in the, because I think, I don't know, Mia, if you're still here, did the new ambassadors get introduced yet? Mine is my fave K-pop group, and I got to see them in concert. Wait, did you really? Wait, what's your K-pop group? I want to know. I've been getting into my K-pop era recently, so I'm like interested. Also, yes, if you would like to find me, I'm EmrysK over on Twitch and Twitter, and TikTok. They're in the stream team, but we haven't made the announcement yet. Okay. I don't know. I think this person's maybe new. I think there's only new people on, or at least people that I haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet. So this will be fun. This will be fun, I guess. But yeah, if you want to follow me over on Twitch, and speaking of, you know, queer representation in media, let me tell you, my Sims gameplay, that's all it is, baby. That's all it is. Think you like them a lot. I'm gonna have to take some notes. Because I've been dipping my toes into K-pop recently, and I've been really enjoying it. But yeah, I think I know we're gonna go right, because I feel like this is fitting. I think this is fitting because this person's playing Dead by Daylight right now. And I don't know if y'all saw, but Nick Cage got announced to be in Dead by Daylight. Nick Cage is just gonna be in Dead by Daylight now. I don't really know what that's about, but I feel like this is fitting. I feel like this is gonna be great and lovely. So I'm gonna start this raid to go over. We're gonna be raiding It's Leroy. Let me check for pronouns in the bio, but I'm not seeing any. As of right now. So yeah, Nick Cage is gonna be in Dead by Daylight. I'm really interested in what I think he's gonna be a survivor. Imagine if they made Nick Cage a killer in Dead by Daylight. Could you imagine? I don't know why, but that's really funny to me personally. Let me see. There's the raid message for you all. And here's this. We're gonna do that. We're gonna start the raid. For me, I will be live again over on my channel on Monday, at 6 p.m. Eastern, my usual thing. I think the raid is now working. There it is. Perfect. So grab the little raid message. We're gonna go send some love over to Leroy. Like I said, I don't see pronouns, so make sure to ask if you're going to use any. And currently he's playing a little bit of Dead by Daylight. And it says live Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you know what? Live, today's Friday, now you get 2 more days. Look at that. But yeah, currently playing some Dead by Daylight. I think that'll be lovely and fun and fantastic. All right, gamers. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day, night, or whatever time it is for you. And I'll see you on Monday. Goodbye, gamers.